All right, and we're recording. As always, I am Brian Kynes, the creator of the Tales of Ulran campaign setting. We use Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, heavily homebrewed to tell our story. And the awesome folks that are around us that are joining me today are going to help me write another chapter in the book. So, we may have Danny McGuffey here shortly. His plans have got changed, and he's trying to jump in and out using a phone now. So we'll see if we can get that squared away. Let's go ahead and introduce the folks that are joining us right now. Go ahead. We'll start with Colby.
I'm Colby, and I'll be playing Kill Tusk. And he is a barbarian slash ranger and a native to these islands we are currently at. And as my background is his primal companion.
Yeah, Loki is in the background. And that's what inspired a lot of the flavor of this. That's from, I believe, Magic the Gathering, possibly. Some artwork from those folks, and they have a really good spin on a tropical take on these dinosaurs in an environment, and that kind of helped inspire some of this. So thanks for joining us, Colby. Let's go ahead and go to Bella.
Hi, I am Bella. I play Siluan, the Maiden of Song Bard turned Avian Skylancer, who's currently chilling in a Mecha Man.
Mecha Man. Jeremy, scratch that up for the new description. We've went from, what did Danny call it last week? It was a Mechanicon, and I've heard it called an I've heard it called so many things. That's a new one. Mecha Man. I like it. While we're on a roll, go ahead, Jeremy, introduce yourself. I dare you to top that.
My name is Jeremy. I'll be playing Merc, who is a human spirit paladin who pilots some bomb ass angelic battle armor, aka the Mecha Man that Silverman is in.
Awesome. And for those of you who might notice, Jeremy's feeling under the weather. He's just joining us because he just can't stand to miss our games. They're so important to him. And he's not going to be shouting or giving any kind of dissertations or anything tonight. Last, but certainly not least, Corey.
Yo,
Take your time. Yo.
hi. Hello everyone. I'm Corey. I
Very nice.
play Darius, the College of Swords bard. In this world of the Order of the Lycan, like a good mix between what is it, like a blood hunter esque kind of vibe mixed with the college. Um, Shit hit the fan, man.
It did. It did.
Darius very much has his own motives, whilst he is trying very hard to get on the same page of the group he's with. Nothing will stop his motivational tool of finding the pieces he's missing of the lament and bringing the reckoning to that Lycan woman who's cursed, kind of has harmed more people than he could imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Um, and I went ahead and left this battle map up because we're right in the middle of it. It's really funny how this has played out because when you decided, you know what, Steel Wind Strike, Brian, right? I was like, oh shit, really? Okay. And there's an interesting twist on that because there was going to be a bit more of a ceremony before this started, and they were going to imbue themselves with a governor, kind of a natural thing where they used force damage in this fight, as not to mortally wound people.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Shacoma stepped up there, and the way Braxel was saying, you're not just testing us, we're testing you, and shit got serious real quick. You jumped in slashing, and I'm like, fuck, there goes the whole force thing. But what's great about your move is it's force damage. So it kind of plays into that naturally, which is a nice thing. So, as a note, as we're going through this fight, you will find that around this spell circle, things tend to be force damage around this encampment, around this area. We'll we'll get into that, and it was just really funny how it all played out. You, my friend, got serious. Things got a little hairy, literally here. And this was like the last thing that happened. You had went through, made successful strikes against, I think, was it all three of them?
It was all three.
It was all three. You could have hit up to 5, but some of them were just outside of the range. You had done, I think it was like 30-something points of damage to each one of them.
Yeah.
Which is good, because once they have a chance to rage and are doing their things, that'll be lesser. But that is nice. Let me go ahead and write that down real quick. Okay. So, to paint the picture again as to what exactly this is going on here. The Ozamen, or the Ozo, whatever you want to call them, which is an Aztec word, which is not, it's not Aztec, I forget the name of the actual language, but is a play on their monstrous gorilla-like forms. These four-armed gorilla, I don't know the D&D word for them. That's why we're just calling them the Ozamen. It's a play on the Aztec language. They have decided if they are going to try to aid us in reclaiming the water temple of Yota, that we need to be worthy. You know, they're survivors. They've been on this island since the devastation of the Tarrasque. They've weathered the storm. They're found a way to exist in this dangerous place. We're asking them to step out of their comfort zone for a chance at a better world, right? So they have decided, okay, you need to be worth it. There was some debate over whether or not that should be the case, which is completely understandable. But once Darius decided that shit was starting to get real, Shacoma, which was really awesome, stepped up, is starting to take control and be the leader that Kiltusk and some of these others know that she can be. Because she was hesitant at first. She didn't want to risk any more of the remaining Atlanteans to die. But she seems to have stepped up with brave words. Valdera actually inspired her with Battle Cry. And I have written down here that she has advantage on a couple things. Braxel pretty much said, you know, you're testing us, but we're actually testing you to see if you're worthy of getting us into this temple. Kiltusk stepped through and joined in. And right before that happens, because you kind of were a surprise round here, I believe we rolled some initiative, did we not?
No, I don't think we did roll initiative.
I don't think we did.
Basically,
Okay.
we
we
you were
rolled,
like,
I think we rolled like to prevent us from being feared. And
yeah,
whatnot.
that's all. Yeah, well,
Okay.
except for
I failed.
killed us.
Right on. Yeah. So
But yeah, we didn't.
okay, so I want to go through a scene just for a minute to kind of aid to this. I want to talk for just a minute about Danny and Bastille trying to call Silhouette and Merc back out of this void. So, Jeremy, help refresh my memory a little bit here, and you too, Bella. So, Silhouette and Merc were inside here, and the conversation took place that they were being beckoned from the outside. And we went on to this discussion where you're able to see the 3 stained glass windows that you used to peer out. Silhouette got to see you operating this thing, which was like, you know, from the Pacific Rim, where they're in there and they feel the turbulence that goes on inside of this. You have all these different books and different lit up images that float around you as you're able to kind of, it's almost futuristic looking with a ancient arcane flair to it. You had spoke words to Danny, or to Bastille finally. But Silhouette still had not came out of the construct. Is that correct? Bella, where were you taking Silhouette? Where were you going at that moment? When all this was going on?
Yeah, so what the deal ended up being was they got back from the kind of plain place that they were on.
Yeah.
And as like she was sort of following Merc, she kind of saw the stained glass windows, she saw the bright light, she heard Bast. And then she was quickly like, I'll be right back, to put her little ash jar quickly in her room.
Oh, right on, yeah.
And then she made her way back, and she recognized at that point that shit was sort of going down. But that being said, they were surrounded by people, so it's not like she can leave quite yet. So she is currently sitting in the back of the control room, and she was taking notes.
Okay. So, here's why I want to explain this. Now, Jeremy, you can play this however you want to. You're controlling him. Velendal healed you all to some decent degree while this was going on, okay? What you're able to see when you come to, and what you hear as Bastille looks back over his shoulder at what's going on. Remember, you two are still on the side of this where you're on the hunting lodge side. So just a refresher, you're seeing the Scion over there, Karsu. And she is sitting there, and through her, her eyes are glowing white, and you can hear her saying words with a heavy, ancient, old, heavily chested sounding grunts in foreign language that would be of these Ozomen that she's channeling through her. You would see that Darius seems to be almost in between dimensions, almost like a spectral image of himself. As in that moment, you would see him quickly dart all different directions. You wouldn't be able to see the travel that Darius was going through. You would just see him in this big spell circle-like area. Remember, we said it looked like a big bonfire. You would see Darius flashing from place to place and slicing at these things. And as he does, you would see these spectral images of Ozomen soldiers. He's fighting on some other side. We're almost getting like a partial preview of what's going on in a faraway place. Does that make sense? And that's what you, Jeremy, that's what Merc is seeing through this. The first thing I want to do is I want to say something on behalf of Rursi, which is the cleric, the one that was badly injured, the very beautiful woman that has the false arm that Celine was able to discover last time, which is the only one that really knows that. But you know who I'm talking about. She would say desperately over her shoulder to those that still remain on this side of things. That includes Valdera, Bastille, Brahmas with Silliman inside, Celine, and she would say, urgent. She would say, "We are one short. We need one more warrior to add to even the odds. Who will step up and join?" And as she is standing halfway in a circle, and you can see the left side of her is somewhat faded, almost like she's going through a portal, Rursi is holding out her right hand, looking for someone else to grasp it. Okay? This is what you see, and then I'll give you a chance to react. Valdera grabs up her sword, and this doesn't even say a word, and starts to charge towards her. As that happens, Bastille runs up and gets in front of her. And Valdera kind of looks surprised for a minute. She gets kind of some of the intensity wipes off of her face. In hushed words, roll a perception check, Merc.
One.
21. Bastille says something along the lines of this. He says, he goes, "There'll be plenty of times to fight ahead, but right now, Shacoma's in the middle of proving herself again to these people. Best not to overshadow that effort. Let her have this one." With that, Valdera kind of powers down a bit, I guess would be the way to say it. She's starting to get herself buffed up to go into this. Bastille has went over and pretty much taken Valdera out of this equation. Okay. The people that would be left would be Bastille and Brahmas. Bastille looks over his shoulder and looks over to you and kind of arcs that eyebrow up and he goes, "You up for it?"
Did I receive any healing a secondary time after the event?
I think she healed Velendal healed you all when you were going back into Brahmas.
I know she healed us before we went to the Hellscape. I don't remember her healing us when we come back.
Maybe
I
not.
Yeah, I don't think you specified with that
Okay.
one.
Probably
But
not. So
it-
you probably have what you have then.
So Merc in and of himself is 2 points above 25%. So
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's anything that I can do, being that I can't come out yet, tap into some of the bard stuff. Is there any way I can heal up Merc inside of Brahmas and maybe even do some like bard spells to them from in
Okay.
here?
Do me a favor, roll a perception check. I want to see how much of this you overhear that's being broadcast throughout the inside of Brahmas.
I am gonna try to, if possible, heal him regardless.
Okay. Okay.
That is a. What was that? You said perception? That's like a 4. She doesn't know what's going on.
Okay. So I'm going to do something unique here. I will say you can see that he's having this conversation and there are things going on. Okay. Just for the hell of it, if you come up there and you choose to heal him while this is going on each one of his turns, I'm going to give you a chance at a bonus action to add to one of Brahmas's turns if you are helping him co-pilot.
Okay, because I know
So
that.
if both of you are working this thing at the same time, I will let you have some kind of influence inside of him. She may be able to perform an overdrive, whereas you're busy doing another thing, Jeremy. But I'm going to want you to shout out commands and do this like you guys are piloting this thing. I think that would be really interesting if you're going to remain inside. But it's going to be up to Jeremy to instigate and tell you what needs done. So this is going to be as awesome as your creativity will let you be. Does that make sense? And we will move forward in that way. So go ahead, and what kind of bardic healing are you tapping into, Silwyn?
Let's see. I know she has healing word. Just pulling up her sort of spell type list.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see if there's the touch version of that one that's a little bit stronger, but I'm not seeing it. So I guess all she really has is healing word.
Which you can cast at higher levels. You just have to.
So how do I cast?
Well, if you're just casting healing word,
I
inside
think
of here?
so. It's healing word, and then also I pulled up her bard sort of subclass. Additionally, as a bonus action, you can expend one use of your bardic inspiration to inspire allies. So I can't see them, so I can't inspire them, but maybe I can inspire Merc.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead. And if you're doing the healing word, what level are you casting that at?
She's only a 3rd level bard, so the highest that she can cast it.
Okay, I think. Do you have level 2 spells yet? Or just level 1?
I think.
If you look at your skill tree, at the very first, it'll have like a 1 through whatever, and it'll tell you what the highest level spell is you're allowed to cast.
Let's see.
And your battle buddy may be looking it up to help you too.
Okay. Yeah, she can cast up to level 2.
Okay, so you could cast that at level 2 then.
All right, she's going to do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll the dice and tell us about the healing and describe to us what kind of inspiration you are giving to him. Verbalize it, and then Jeremy will be able to use that dice how he sees fit.
Okay, so D20, right? Or
A D20? No, you don't have to aim this.
Oh.
This is just, I think it's a 1d8 plus something healing word.
1d8 plus 1. Okay, so 1d8 plus 1. 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 1d8
No, healing words. What 1d4, right?
Okay. And is it an extra D4 per every level higher?
Yes.
Okay. So it'd be 2D4. And does she add her charisma or her spellcasting
Yes.
ability to that?
Yeah, 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier plus an additional d4 for every level up. However, just to clarify, when
Yeah.
I did healing stuff, you made me roll a d20 to see if there were fancy stuff that happened.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and do the performance. Go roll 1d20 plus your spellcasting ability modifiers, and let's see what you get.
Real
See.
quick, Brian, did lay on hands for Paladin doesn't cost any MP, right?
No,
Okay.
because you have a pool of it that you're able to use daily.
I'll say I'll use that too on top of what she heals me for.
I love that Jeremy feels like shit and he's playing his character amazingly well right now. I mean, I'm glad you decided today was the day to try this out because Merc feels like hammered hell. Okay, so go ahead, Bella.
Yeah, he has no MP left whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm trying to find her spellcasting modifier.
Okay, so you're charisma based. So what's your charisma modifier?
Her charisma is +3. I rolled
Okay,
an
and then
11.
So that's 14, and you get 3 or 4 more because your proficiency bonus, because you're proficient in charisma.
So proficiency bonus is 4.
Plus 4 right now, yes.
So it's 4 plus 3 is 7. So whenever you're doing something like a spell, you're adding 7. Okay. And then you rolled a what?
11, so that would be 18.
18. That's over 15. I will give you advantage on your 2d4.
Okay.
So roll them and roll them again and take the higher of them. So you're going to get
Roll both of them again?
each one once to see what the higher score is. You get advantage on me. So you roll it twice, get the highest amount.
There's 2 and 3.
Okay, so a 3 keeps. Do it again.
Okay.
She's yelling at it. What's the word? And a 4. That's 4 plus 3 is 7. Plus your charisma modifier is 3. That is 10. Altogether. 10 points of healing, and describe the inspiration and how you give it to him, Bella, and with your bonus action.
I think it's just kind of the narrative that she's been saying when they were in the hellscape, when they were coming out of the hellscape, is I'm not going to let you fight this stuff alone anymore. I got you.
Awesome. Okay. That gives him a what? A 1d something to add to anything, correct?
You're level 3, right?
Yeah.
So you're at 1d6.
Okay. And because she's a dirge singer, I think she can, if there were multiples around her, she can affect multiple targets with her bardic inspiration instead of just one. That's a dirge singer ability, which is awesome.
Yeah. If she was more clued in, she would have done it to Corey and Darius and Kiltusk too.
A speaker would have came out of Brahma's, attention!
No, you just
everyone.
You would literally just hear like Scylla almost like through a microphone, like, "You guys got this."
That's awesome. Monday, everybody. So,
but that didn't happen. So no little female voice coming out of Promise yet.
Right on. That's cool. So, I know that things were looking bleak, and now you've got 10 more points of healing, and you've got inspiration. How is this the chicken noodle soup to your cloudy day, Jeremy? What's going on, buddy? What's Merc thinking here? You got
with Sylvan's inspiring words and feeling really beat up. He's
shit.
very spiritually drained.
Mm-hmm.
She'll see him put his hand on his chest, and he'll use his lay on hands for 40 points. Get himself
How much?
Back up 40.
You're blowing your whole thing right there, huh?
I got 55.
Okay.
All but 15. Get me back up and running.
That's awesome. I mean, this literally needs a sound effect. This needs like boom, boom, boom. This needs something. That's a huge amount, sir.
Promise is in good shape. Merc is just beat the hell up.
Yeah. The car looks great. The driver needs to go to the next truck stop. Yeah, I get
have
it.
A question.
Yeah, what's up?
So I've expended everything that I can do right now, and I'm kind of looking at her spell list for coming up.
Uh-huh.
Can some of her spells being from the inside affect Brahmas's outside? For example, giving him elemental bane?
you'll have to talk to him about that, and you guys get creative. And if you sell it to me, I may let you do it.
Alrighty.
You know what I mean? Because this is one of those really neat opportunities where we're on uncharted territory here, guys. So if you can think of a window to get her to, it's like grab a lever, whatever you can do here. You guys sell it to me. You work together as a team here to make Brahmas the badass that he can be. And I'll have you guys roll, I don't know what kind of, what is it, tinkering checks? What would it be, Jeremy? When you're trying to create or operate a device, what usually is that check, Corey? What would you say?
Create or...
Or like operate devices, you know what I mean? Like trying to work a ballista or trying to mess with a mechanical door and get the switches right or something like that.
So my question would be, what kind of device is it? Is it, if it's mechanical, then I would say like a dexterity type of thing. If it's magic, I would say an arcana check.
Okay, well, it's going to be a hybrid of both. So what we're going to do is we're going to have each one of you decide one of those. One of you's going to be doing arcana, and one of you's going to be doing the investigation.
Something real quick that just came to mind.
Yes.
There are he pretty much controls like a part of the body individually, correct?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. Because, like, literally, for example, if she were to cast something and poke the thing that controls the feet, she could do, like, Thunder Wave or, like, sort of different stuff like that when it's almost like the spell is going to that particular part of the body.
When we get to this, you try selling that to me. Corey, go ahead. Yes.
I was going to say, she's going to make Brahmas Iron Man. She's going to have him going like...
Yeah, I know. I can just hear this Black Sabbath just jamming in the background right now. If I had it up quick, I'd be playing it in the background. Copyright be damned. I don't care. We'd be like, we'd be getting it. So, keep that on deck. You guys remember investigation and arcana to make things happen. And if you sell it to me and you get high enough, cool things are going to happen. So, but none of that matters. Depending on what Merc does in this moment, you've healed yourself for a ridiculous amount of healing. Got rid of your pool. You got inspirational words coming from Silouan. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever be. It's getting crazy.
Hilarious. It's the same song that popped into my head.
I guarantee it. But hey, Karate Kid forever, right? So, in that moment, man, Bastille is like, you up for it? What's your response?
He's going to see Brahmas kind of basically Merc stretching and Brahmas doing the same as he reaches back and he grabs that great sword off. He slams it down into the ground.
Yeah. Right on.
He starts walking towards the...
Okay, Rercy.
Yeah.
She has her hand out. As you're walking up, Danny also mentioned this. I'm glad I had conversations because I know where their mind was. We talked about Valdera not joining in for these reasons. This is Danny's idea here. He does want to give you caution, though, that you look like a deity. So he says to you, if they start to hold back because of you, he says, don't hold back on them. They need to know that we're here, we're in this to win this. So, with those words from Danny, just kind of keep that in mind. If you go in here and all of a sudden they stop and they won't start bowing down to you and shit, or something like that, you're going to have to say something to make them want to fight you just because of the way you look. There are statues on this island. Yeah.
By Danny viewers, he means best.
I do. Imagination, everybody. So, yes. So Bastille is giving you these words of caution when moving forward. We don't want the C-3PO versus the Ewoks scene going on in the middle of this competition. If you're a nerd, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And, yeah. So.
See, I was mentioned earlier about using when somebody says a curse word or something, has to bleep it out, just throw a word in there. Let's do the same thing. Every time you say Danny, just have somebody fast.
Yeah.
Just bleep out Danny, but fast.
I know it, dude. I know. Immersion. It's all good. We'll get there. So, in that moment, are you going up and taking Mercy's hand? Okay. As you do, I'm going to give you disadvantage on the initiative roll. And when you go into this, I'm going to have everyone go ahead and roll initiative. Okay, so Darius, tell me what you get.
Just to clarify, so my initiative, it says 4 plus question mark. That's the
Yep.
20, the D20.
No, the D20 is standard. A 4 is your proficiency bonus. And the other thing that you're adding to your initiative roll is what you plan on doing on your turn. So if you're going to be casting spells and doing something like that, and that's your plan as of this moment, then it would be your spell casting ability modifier. If you're going to physically attack and do something like that, well, then it would be your dexterity or your strength, depending on what you're going in with. Different things would affect initiative differently.
Oh wow! How do you stop someone from gaming that then? Because like for example,
It's interesting, and
if
I
I'm a
can.
plus 12, I can like have a better initiative if I'm attacking because I have a plus 12 versus my plus 8 to do a spell.
Mm-hmm. What I'll do is, when you go into it, let's say you're using the highest number. You're like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
attacking.
Yeah.
That's my plan when I'm going into this. If your
Yeah.
turn comes up and you do something else other than attacking, if there's been no good reason for you to stop that, I'll call bullshit on you.
Okay.
Like
okay.
you
That's what I
already
would've-
said, this is what you were
Yeah.
doing.
Because obviously you know me, like I don't want to game it, but I was like, damn, I mean, I could totally
Right.
game that because I could be like, oh, I was going to do this, but because Brahmas was higher and Brahmas. Anyway, sorry,
Now,
my
it's okay.
mechanical brain.
No, but you understand my point to this. If you've committed to doing something, now let's say in the middle of the fight, all of a sudden a person dies in front of you, and the only person optionally that you have to act on is far away. You have a spell for that. I will ask what your modifier difference is. If that drops
Right.
you down on the initiative roll,
Yeah.
it drops you down.
Okay.
But you can't move up by changing in a fight because you've already stepped in with the plan in mind. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, and I asked this mostly because, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry to slow down the game.
That's
but
part of the game. It's why we play.
Sure.
It's not always the show. It's go ahead, bud.
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
Darius would want to attack right now, but then when Brahmas comes in, then there's something else I would want to do, which would be a spell. So let's say I'm going to do it based on attack, but if once I see him, no, I'm just going to do it based on spell because once I see him come in, I'm doing a spell, right?
Okay.
Wait. Well, hold on. What if I go before him?
Right.
Oh, I see why. I see what you mean. Okay, I'm attacking.
You get me. Okay, cool.
Unless he comes in first, which he will.
Right. Third base.
Well, maybe.
It's like Abbott and Costello going on here. Third base.
No, I get it now. So I got a 20.
You got a 20 plus stuff, which gives you a total of.
No, like 20 with my calculation.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
A flat 20.
Okay. Initiative total is 20 for you. Colby, what'd you
have
get?
to do math.
21.
21.
Because I plan on using the mist arrow, so that would be dexterity, right?
Yeah, it would be. Okay, let's go ahead. Brahmas, with disadvantage on the D20 roll. What'd you get?
$23.
If I was going to ask 10 more people, shit, we might be in the 40s. It just keeps on escalating. It's getting crazy. Do you say 23? Fucking Jordan. All right. Just for the hell of it, let's roll for some of these other people. Bella, just for fun, roll me a 1d20 and a 1d10 and tell me what this is for Shacoma. She's grinning. That could be good things. It could be bad. And you're muted, but I have a feeling I don't want to know what the hell it is anyway. What is this?
Let's see. Oh, I think it was 12.
D20 and D10.
12, and then for the D10, I think it's the 1. So 13.
Okay, add a 1d4 to that because of the battle cry from Valdera.
So 17.
17 total. Got it. Okay. Colby, go ahead and roll for Braxel. 1d20 to 1d10. Tell me what you get.
Real quick, how did Sullivan look health-wise?
You guys talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead.
Was she pretty banged up?
15.
15 for Braxel.
It's in my other notebook, which I can run and get real quick.
I think you got. I know you guys got hit pretty good by that damn hellish
I was gonna
rebuke
say-
thing when he died.
If she's really bad off, he would have used the rest of the last 15 points of his lay on hands on her, because realistically, if she's going to be helping him pilot it, she's going to be taking the licks too.
Well, I would, but we're running out of time for that. There's already been a lot of action condensed into a small space here. Now, I know sometimes time moves different inside of Brahmas, but in this moment, you're getting the visual signs. You're doing this. I'm not going to be able to fit that in quite yet. You can do it on your next turn if you want to, but for now, you're in motion. Okay?
I can run and grab my notebook with that real quick.
Sure, go ahead, because we're going to roll a few more initiatives, and then we're going to get going. Okay? Let's go ahead and do this. And I'm rolling for some of these other folks now. Oh, shit. I like that all day. Yeah, brother. 25. 15. 14. And let's go ahead and say you're this way. Yep, I like that. And one more. Yeah, that works. Okay, now I'm going to cast True Sight on myself and figure out what order these fuckers go in as I begin music with one of these mice at work. Yes, sir. Get over here. Ooh, immersion. Okay, so first 1, then 2, then let's say 3, then 4. Now that's a 20. Now let's go 19, 18, 17 right here. 5.
By the way, Dan passed me for taking awful notes.
Do what?
Dan passed me for taking awful notes. She is a pain in my butt and curses me.
I understand. All right, we got the initiative order. We're good to rock and roll. Is the music? Can you all hear it?
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, nice. So we've got the shit going on. Things is getting ready to go down here. I'm excited to see how this goes. Okay.
It's down to 17 if I'm reading my notes correctly.
Yeah, you got smacked by that hellish rebuke kind of ability that thing had as it went out and it was destroyed. So you were not feeling the best. And remember, your use of inspiration is gone for today, okay? I think you only get that once a day. All right, so the first person to go is going to be soldier number 1, which is interesting. It's right there in front of Darius. Okay, I've thought long and hard about this, sir, about what these fools can do and what all's going on here. So let's do this. As you go through and you have steel one struck into these things, just this force damage, you have parted hair, the white hair on these things. Even from just force damage, it has drawn blood on them. As it goes onto these large stone squares covered in vines, this creature looks up and swells up. It's going to use its bonus action to go ahead and rage. Okay? So that's going to be number 1. Let's go ahead and get rage with an exclamation point because you know it's good. These things have 4 arms. And this is what you're going to see happen. It is going to attempt to grapple you with the 2 bottom arms, which is going to take 2 of its attacks to do this. It's going to have advantage on the roll. Okay? And this is a competition. You know how grappling works. So
Yep.
what do you want to use to counter this?
Acrobatics.
Okay. That's amazing. That's a nat 20 and a 1. So, after bonuses, that ends up being... Oh,
It
shit.
doesn't matter. I rolled a 1.
Oh, wow. Okay. So...
You caught me off guard.
No, this is... No, shit. Well, there's 4 arms. And here's what this looks like. Now, Kill Tusk, you've seen these things fight each other before. Almost like gorillas in the wild. They have these little moments where they just go off on each other. And these little spurts of anger and things like that. And when you see him grab onto him with the 2 bottom arms and hold it in place, holds onto him, it takes its hands together like this and holds up the top 2 arms and hammer down on top of you while you're grappled for a very, very strong strike.
And just to clarify, in this realm, grappling is the same as in 5th edition. He doesn't get advantage, right? I'm just grappled, which means I can't move, right?
Let's look at it this way. What he's done is he has taken away your ability to move out of the way.
Correct.
Okay? Which we know what that is on your armor class.
You know what it is. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, it's your dexterity. It's your dodge.
I got you.
So
All right, cool.
That's what's great about our mechanic and the way we do it. We know that you have a certain amount of protection on it because of what you're wearing. We know you have a base of 10. But if he has you held...
I lose the whole 6? Is that what I lose?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because you're not able to move away.
I got you.
Now, if Howard had said, and he, well, you rolled a 1, dude, and he rolled a 20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
just throwing it out there mechanically grapple, because I fucking hate grapple in 5th edition standard because it does nothing but make you not move, which is stupid.
Right. Well, in this, here's a situation with you in a 1 and he in a 20. He's going to have been able to have grabbed you in a way where you're not going to have your weapon defense versus this attack either. He has got you wrapped up in those 2 bottom arms. If a 1 versus a 20, there's no way I can't do that.
Okay.
So when he's holding you, all you have now is what your armor grants you on top of the 10. Okay? So your dodge and your block are completely taken out of this equation.
Right. Okay.
13 plus 12. 25.
Okay.
So your armor class minus your block and dodge is what?
So it'd be...
It'd pretty much just
14,
be 10.
Maybe.
It'd be 10 plus your armor, your breach. Whatever your armor protects on your body, your protection.
Right. Which is type 1, type 2 grade. Protection 6 and a 3. So I have a 6 and a 3, right? Yeah,
because you have that shaw, so you have a 9 altogether. So it'd be a 10 plus a 9. He breaches you.
Yeah.
With a 25. Mm-hmm. So it's neat to see how these numbers work in truth. They tell the tale. In normal D&D, grapple may not matter, but in here, if they're able to grab a hold of you, well, you can't move. You take your dodge out of it. If he really gets a hold of you and shit and pins your arms, he's got a hold of you, like King Kong picking up Jane and shit. You can't fit. Your arms like, hey! You got that rapier out just like, Arr! And you can't do it because he's really got you tied up. So, with that, he does a breaching, double-fisted slam down on top of you. Whew, sir. If this ain't going to wake you up, nothing will. "21 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw. And the DC for that saving throw is 18.
Nope.
What'd you get? How far did you miss it by?
A negative one. I mean, not negative one.
It's like you rolled a negative
natural
one.
Yeah.
With that, you are stunned until the end of your next turn. Okay. Let's have a moment here. As you went through and did this, and the frustration, you could just see the lip and the firmness and the true horrific might of these creatures as it grabs a hold of you, and you roll. You know, you're just kind of surprised it's actually just reaching out to get you with those big old black skinned hands. You're like, oh shit, dude! When it raises up, bam, and comes down, and you like this, dude? It is lights out. You just feel. And you go back, and we're going to do a dream sequence for you here in just a minute once we go a little bit further into this. Because I have a neat idea for that. So that is going to be that. That was a minus. Whew. Okay, and you are stunned.
I'm not jumping into Wonderland chasing after Darius's Alice.
Yeah, I mean, shit, right? Okay, number 2, Brahmas. You just saw this. It was brutal. I'll give you a free action if you want to use that as a command to Silwan of some degree. If you have some kind of plan as to what you would like her to try to do to give you an extra bonus action on your turn, I'll let her be able to control and do something. Like this is a tank of 2 guns. You know, so if you want to, I'll let you guys go ahead and do your checks now, if that's what you want to do. If not, I'll let you go ahead and take your regular turn. And then on her initiative round in this, I'll let you guys do the checks.
How far out am I from where Darius is?
Okay, let's bring you into this, sir.
Also, did I roll initiative?
No, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Alrighty. Cool.
Just a minute. Okay, so look at me over here cheating. I've got you guys over here. This is called the bench. See, this is how this works. Let's go to the gang. Brahmas, buddy.
I choose you.
I choose you, Brahmas. Okay, out of the void and into this, I would say you would be here, as this is supposed to be Rursi, this phantasmal NPC, and this would be here. All right? That is the setup, sir. This is what you're seeing in front of you. Yeah, you just saw the hybrid form of him just get walloped, and its head goes over in a very strange kind of way, as if he has been knocked cold and he is into the great arms of this soldier number 1 over here. What can I show you, and what would you like to do in your turn, Jeremy?
Alright. What kind of distance is there between me and it? Like
Each one of those
20,
big
30
blocks
feet?
is 10 by 10. So you've got 5, 10, 15, 20. And I'll say Darius would be at the 25 mark. This would be at the 30. So if you went, who are you going after?
I go after the one holding on to Darius.
Okay, that's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30 foot will put you in melee range. And do you want to be above him up here, or do you want to be below him down here? Which side?
Well, with what I'm planning on doing,
Yes?
I'm hoping to be in front of him. We'll see
In
how that
front of
pans out,
him?
though. We'll see how that pans out, though.
Okay, okay.
Hey,
So,
if that doesn't work, then I'll be to one side or the other.
okay, so there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 or 25. And that's going to put you diagonally being able to reach them. You want to be below or above him while he's being grappled?
Well, Darius is currently limp in his hands, right?
Practically, yes.
So Ramus is going to come up, do a leaping unarmed strike.
Okay, and I hate to be reiterating, but which side of him are you on?
It's, bottom side. 'Cause
Where you're
basically,
at?
Ramus is wanting to come up over Darius's limp body and just try to connect.
Well, if you were doing that, he'd have partial cover because he's holding him up
Mm-hmm.
with those arms. So you're going to have to go along to the side of him to get a good shot at him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's a left hook, so that
Okay.
makes sense.
I'm going to put you right here. and you'll be able to swing at this crescent in Adam with the sword, correct?
Yep.
All right, go ahead. And what are you doing for your attack? What are you doing here?
All right. So I'm opening up with a leaping strike. So
Okay.
I'd have moved up to that point and then 10-foot jump or whatever it was.
Right.
Just go
That's
cost
going to
10
be a
foot of
total of 35 foot of movement.
movement.
And now to use all your movement, correct?
Yep. So, yep.
Okay, and remember, you have things you could be asking Silliman to do to give you a boost in movement on your turn, too. So think about that. Okay? So, overdrives and shit like that. So you've used it. Go ahead and roll your acrobatics or athletics check with a DC of 10 plus the proficiency bonus of the creature, which is 4. So DC of 14 to get the benefits of the leaping strike.
Let's see. That's a 15.
Automatically, you're already passing, boss, so go ahead and roll it out.
So, and that was just the acrobatics check, right? So now I gotta roll my hit.
Correct.
That might not get it done. That might. Oh, damn it. Let me get to the right one. I got Merc's sheet up on top. That's better.
I ain't mad at you, buddy. Go ahead.
That's 27 to hit.
27 hits and breaches the creature. So you're able to hit along the side into a vulnerable area of the creature. Its armor class was diminished a little bit because of its lack of mobility because it is grappling somebody. Go ahead and roll your damage plus your leaping strike from that and tell me what I need to do.
28, 15, plus 1d4.
Still, what's neat is you're seeing him inside taking that greatsword and jumping up and coming down at air. And when he does, when you see him hit with the blade inside of Brahmas, you see a image that kind of shimmers in and out of existence as to the target that he hit. Almost like he was hitting something that was invisible that only showed itself for a moment when he made contact with it in the space between him and the 3 mirrors. As if there are images of what the outside he's interacting with inside this place. Is pretty fantastic looking.
So that is 19 points of damage, with 1 point of which being radiant.
And how much radiant?
Just 1 point.
Okay, total of 20. Got it.
No, not 19 altogether.
19 altogether.
Yeah,
One of that
those
was
ones.
radiant. And that's slashing, correct?
It was unarmed strike, so bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning. Okay, got it. Okay, you hit, but you didn't see the reaction out of this creature like you think you should have seen for the mass that you hit. Although you hit it, you felt the shock through the chamber of this. This thing is, muscles are tensed, bones are dense and rigid, and it doesn't pay mind to you as much as you would think, as it has its hands getting ready to go up for another swing on Darius as he's still holding on to him. It did not break the grapple or his concentration.
So we get followed up. Sylvan's gonna see Merc look back. Keep up. I'm gonna show you this once. Okay, you're gonna see him reach over and activate kind of this glyph, and he's gonna operate in overdrive to add magic missile to his next strike.
I love it. I love it. So go ahead and you roll a go ahead and roll a. I'm trying to think because I know you're not intelligence based, but you have a history of interacting with this thing. You have went through and researched this. Roll me a history check to be able to explain this well, and I want you to roll an Arcana check to be able to perform this, Silwyn.
But
And
he's
you
not
get-
he's not telling her to do it. He's just showing her how to do it this time around. And then
Okay. go ahead and roll your history. Then let me know what you get.
I still roll Arcana or no?
Mm-hmm.
I
We're gonna get there. Yep.
Are you good with me adding my points of
And Jeremy's like, all right, settle down back here.
kid got his hand caught in the door earlier when it shut. And it's been a bad day for him.
So remember, Silouan, Jeremy in the real world is kids are getting their hands caught in doors and shit. So be careful how he advises you while you're in here. We don't want things to fall apart for you.
Right. Are you cool with me adding the points that I took in martial trainer? Adding that to the history check to help teach her?
Absolutely. And you also have a 1d6 inspiration die in your back pocket too, if you so need it.
Do I need to use that on my next roll, or does that expire?
It lasts for several minutes, I believe. 10 minutes, because the DM said so. Ladies and gentlemen, Corey, everybody.
That's
DM's helper.
16.
It's almost like I play a bard.
No shit. I like it.
19 on history.
19, okay. 15 gets you a certain bonus. 20 would have got you another bonus. But what I want you to do is, I want you to roll your Arcana check, Silouan, and I want you to do it with a +1.
So.
Oh, shit. Did you get your hand caught in the door?
Maybe.
Oh, God.
So
Even Colby's loving it. Even Colby's loving it.
adding my intelligence modifier, right?
I think it's just a new player curse
Sure.
in this group.
Yeah.
Because I rolled a 3. My
Oh.
intelligence is +3, so 6 maybe.
All right. So, this was him showing you how to do this.
Mm.
He's doing it on this turn. This is what you've said to me, correct, Jeremy? So, if you go to perform, the next action you perform inside of here will be at disadvantage because of what you just did. Because D&D's hard.
Yep.
It's hard. It is.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, you are activating the overdrive. Explain to her what this looks like inside. You've pulled up the glyph and what is the bonus and benefit that it gives you. The next strike does magic missile, correct?
Yeah.
So you have rocket
Yeah, so
fist.
So she sees him. Merc's got his sword out, and like I said, I imagine that Brahmas covers his movements, so everything that he does, and he's going to see the Merc put his sword arm up and touch that glyph, and you see the gray sword infused with that magic power that she would recognize as one of the components for magic missile.
Yeah. So the way, to interpret that into how it would work in game, you would see a almost like a mechanical diagram glyph up around his arm that makes it look like it has bulk, and you would see the machinery of Brahmas's exterior around him, and you would see these compartments start to fold out, and you would hear these mechanisms locking in place, and you would see several magic missiles, almost like added guns or something, coming on the size of this phantasmal gauntlet that is around his arm, and he's getting ready to use those as he makes this sword strike all in unison. Go ahead, Jeremy. Roll stuff and tell me what it looks like. Are you focusing all of the wrath of this on this one creature, or are you divvying this up?
At this point, after coming in with the unarmed strike, he's going to come back around with the other hand with the sword.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a cleaving strike. And right there between the two of them. And I'm going to go for the bottom one first.
Okay, and it's going to finish on the one that's got a hold of Darius. I like it. And with your reach, that works right there just fine. I like where you're at.
You're going to have to help me out here because I've got my all my feats pulled up, but I cannot find...
Cleaving strike?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to wing it because I don't want to pull up all the extra stuff on there because my computer's struggling today. So you're going to make your initial strike, and we're going to roll to see how it hits. And the better it does, the better the other secondary strike is going to be. So go ahead and roll your attack versus number 2 down here. And let's see how it goes. I'm gonna light you up and make you look fancy because you're using stuff.
That's
So as he ignites,
14.
you see the Macan aura start up around him, and you see all these glyphs and things start to light up around your character. Oh, by the way, Colby, roll me a 1d10. Let's see how the rain's doing. We do this every day. Jeremy's real busy and it's given us nothing but bad luck. So this will dictate the weather effect that's in the background. If you roll high, it's going to get even heavier, and if you roll low, it'll start to lessen.
8.
Oh my. I tell you what, you all like this stuff now. That's rough. Rain's coming down. Clouds are intense.
With Bardic Inspiration, do I need to announce that prior to coming up with the total or finding out if it hits or not?
You can add after the fact.
Okay. I was saying, so I rolled a 24 to hit.
A 24 to hit on number 2.
2.
It takes a 23 to breach them, so that's a breaching strike.
Sweet.
Okay, they're not heavily armored, but they're defensive. So I would have seen it trying to reach up. They have this one particularly has these almost like shells of some kind of prehistoric creature, almost like large tortoise shells on its arms for almost like gauntlets. And as it goes to bring up around those, you're able to get in between the arms of it and swipe it into the ribs.
I'd like to use my inspiration and my weapon specialization to try to see if I can beat that by 10 so that I can get the additional bonus on it.
Do it. Roll them both. Putting everything into this swing. I like it.
D4 for the weaponized, or the
Weapon specialization.
weapon specialization.
D6 for inspiration.
D6 inspiration. Okay.
Got it.
That's. And I beat it, or see. Yeah, it's 8. And I beat it by 1, right?
Yep.
So that means I beat it by 9.
Yes, by 9.
So I didn't quite get that. That's all right.
But they give you effects though. The cleaving strike is successful. So go ahead and roll your initial damage. We'll see how this goes here, and then you tell me what your roll is against this one over here. Okay, bud?
First one.
Colby, start thinking about what you're going to do, okay? So, because you're on deck, you're number 3. All right? Silverman, go ahead and roll me initiative roll, 1d20 plus 4 for proficiency, and then tell me what you plan on doing, and then add that modifier to it. And let me know what your initiative roll is.
That's a 15 plus 4, so 19.
That's awesome. Okay. That'll put you... .5. I'll put you in initiative order of 5.5. So there will be Kill Tusk, then 2 people, and then you. So start getting creative. Think about some things maybe you can do. Okay? Go ahead, Jeremy, roll your damage. Let me know what you got.
Alright. Coming off at Magic Missile, we said that casts at base level, right?
Yep, and then it goes up another step ever so many levels that you gain. So I think you're casting it like a level 2 at this point.
Okay. Yeah, that's first level spell, second level spell. So 1 more dart for each level above the first. It's 3 darts, so there'll be 4 darts coming off. 1d4 plus 1 each.
Okay, roll those. And then roll your weapon damage. Let me know what it looks like. All together.
And my weapon damage. 17. So magic missile. So 5. 9. 12. 14 force damage. And it's funny because I rolled a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 in that order.
Okay, 14 force damage. And that's from the magic missile?
Yep, and 17 slashing damage.
Okay. Got it. This creature is bloodied. Okay? The moment you bloody him, he gets an automatic attack. That's what these creatures do. Okay? So as you do that, that's a 20. It hits the outside of your armor, or does it get past your ACP?
It doesn't even hit my ACP.
Okay, so you would have seen him come back at you with like anger with one of those arms after you got into him, but you were able to, it deflected up off of the side of your armor, and it wasn't able to get to you. So
I'd like to think that as he's coming up with that sweeping strike, that he's able to kind of elbow it out of the way as he's coming up with it.
That's fair. I like it.
And it's just a straight roll against the second target, right?
Yes. I think it's for half the damage of the first one, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack to hit the second guy. His armor class is decreased. Not degreased, but decreased because he's grappling a limp body right now.
I was about to say, are we fighting greased up deaf guy?
Oh, yeah, it's wrestling all day.
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
A 21 hits, but it does not breach.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll the damage. And as this comes over, this would have hit some of those prehistoric dinosaur shell armor that it has on its arms. It would have took the damage. We'll see if this is enough to break it.
Did you say it was going to take half the damage of the first one?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's not going to take the magic missile damage because that went to the first one.
Correct.
So it's just going to be the. Okay. So it's just going to be half or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's 18 points of slashing damage.
Okay. That is enough to break through the actual armor plate on his arms. Okay. I'm writing down that on his AP, it had a breaking point of 11, so everything after that went through and was effective. So you're able. It was 19 altogether. So you're able to do
18.
It was 18, so you're able to do 7 lethal, and the armor points went down by that 11, and that is
plus 4 radiant. I keep forgetting to add my 1d8 for group smite.
Okay. Got it. And I'm marking that down off the armor points of the creature also. Okay. Awesome.
That's going to be it for my turn.
Okay. With that, Colby, you are up. What are you doing on your turn, sir? The rain is coming down again.
Okay. So I plan on using my last mist arrow.
Okay.
Oh, blink arrow, not mist arrow. Do I know if there's a good footing on the top of these statues?
There would be. If you want to do a perception check real quick, I'll have you do this as your free action.
Okay.
Just for a glance, just to get an idea.
$19.
19, yes. You can see on these statues there seems to be some kind of ornate design from a headdress they would have. Then there's the stone, what would represent feathers. There's a dip out section in the top of these statued heads. It is actually collecting water, and it's running down the sides of the face of these 4 large statues in this area.
Okay. Then I would use it to get onto the statue that is that's diagonally from the left of me.
Okay, so this one up here or the one down here?
Behind me, the bottom right.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and just do a regular attack, and let's see if you're able to shoot that arrow over there successfully. It's going to be easy, but if you flub it, you flub it.
Oh, this would be attack bonuses, right?
Yep, it's attack roll.
Want to be sure.
Okay, you're all right. What'd you
I
get?
just want to do the right math. Okay, so that would be 23.
23 will work. You're up here on top of the statue. These things are 25 foot tall. What you doing up there now, Sneaky?
Is it clear to me if the shaman is participating in this fight, or is he just a spectator?
You've already looked around and used your perception check on this turn to examine the statues and things like that. Passively, he seems as if he is concentrating on something.
Okay. Okay. Then. Okay. Then I'm gonna use an overdraw shot.
Okay, that's your bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you have to do the strength check to see how far your overdraw does?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll that for me. Let me know what it is. We'll get this rolling along.
And where did I go?
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to have your dice ready.
I did, and it rolled off the tower, and I have no idea where it went.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I bet.
And I got
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry.
okay.
And what is your
Go
check?
along with that nasty cold.
It's tough. It's contagious. I'm allergic to bullshit, and I'm breaking out in hives.
25.
25 is amazing. So, that adds how much to your overdrive shot?
That would be 3d6s.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, sir. Yeah, so you guys would probably be able to hear the extra creaking of his bows. He's back there going as he's pulling back on that sucker for 3d6 added on. Go ahead and tell me who you're shooting, and then make your shot. Who are you aiming at?
I'm gonna see if I go for that demonic one.
The what one? I'm sorry.
The demonic one.
Up here. Okay. So this one seems to be acting very ferocious. It has these onyx horns that seem to have grown out of the sides of its head with signs of dried blood. This thing seems to be corrupted somehow. It's one of these Ozomen, but some dark ritual or something has made this thing abnormal. You pick up on this particularly. You've never seen anything quite like this abomination back behind. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay.
I'm going to give you advantage on it because you stealthed to somewhere. He has no idea where this shot would be coming from.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you advantage on this attack roll.
$29.
A 29 hits and breaches the target.
$19. 22.
Okay, so 22 points of damage.
No, 28. I gotta also have the bonus, which is +6.
Okay, 28 points of piercing damage. Holy shit, sir. Okay. As you shoot these arrows, now you didn't call out what type of arrows you were using. I'll give you an opportunity because you're kind of getting new to the character. Which ones were these? Basic, or were these the ones that are the ones that hang in and draw the blood? Was there a certain type of arrow you were using on this?
What was the other one than the basic?
Well, I mean, if you don't have them written down, I'm not going to make them up for you. I'm just saying, I thought you had different kinds of ammo.
Okay.
And then we'll move on.
Yeah, I don't remember writing it down, so. Yeah, I'm not finding it either, so. I guess
Okay.
basic.
Okay, so that was one attack. You've used your bonus action. Now, one attack got you up here.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was the overdraw shot. What else you got left?
Is any of them in close range?
They're all in close range for you with this great bow.
Okay. And that gives me the ability to do dual shot.
Okay. So you're wanting to shoot two targets that were within a certain amount of distance of one another, correct?
Yeah.
This will be a third attack. Do you have 3 attacks this turn?
It's 1/1 plus 1/3 plus 1/1.
What's the total all the way to the right in the middle? What's it say total APR?
7/3.
No, you only have 2 attacks this turn.
Okay.
And you're going to have 2, 2, then 3. 2, 2, then 3. So you wouldn't have enough to do the dual shot on this turn.
Okay.
Are you remaining there?
Yeah.
Okay, just for the hell of it, roll me a stealth check. I want to see how much attention you drew to yourself when you did this overdraw shot. Now determine things coming after you. If you're able to figure out where you're at. It is raining. It is cloudy. You did zip over there. What'd you get?
Natural 1.
Yeah. So, that corrupt one that you hit that arrow looks up. It's almost like the rain parts. And you can just see this grimace come off his head. He's like, I got your ass, sir. He's giving you that look through the rain.
Maybe that natural 1 is fair with that 25 I got with the
strength, because you're up there going, hey! Right? So you're not hiding from shit. I get it. All right, so that is you, Kill Tusk. Number 4 is going to be Darius. Darius, you are stunned. On your turn, when the lights go out for you, I want to do just a little scene with you, then we're going to move on. Okay? You can hear rain in this dark space. As if your eyes are closed and you're in a tent or something and there's heavy rain pouring down on the outside. Okay? You hear heavy breath reverberate and echo in your ears. You hear the pounding. You don't feel any more pain. It's like it's distant, but it's almost like there's a loud pounding. It's almost like someone's beating on a door somewhere off in the distance as you're in this darkness. Okay? Just a minute. All right. As you're hearing this, the heavy sounds of thumping are replaced by the sounds of a knock on a wooden door. And a memory starts coming into view. And you remember beating viciously on this wooden door. I want you to roll me a history check real quick, Darius.
Eight.
Okay. With an 8, you remember beating on this door and yelling out a name. But the name is unclear to you. You know you urgently want to speak to someone about a problem. But with that 8, you're having a hard time remembering what exactly your purpose was. You just remember the door. You remember the pain throbbing in your hand, beating on it senselessly, full of anger, full of confusion, needing desperately to speak to someone on the other side of that door. Okay. And as the door finally comes open, you see a face that brings that name into the spotlight for you, and you see the face of Roland. Weakened. Not the Roland that was on stage with you. This is a beaten down, saddened man. And you see him on the other side. And as he gets ready to say words to you, and he looks at you, and he looks pitiful. He looks like he's mourning. You hear yourself raise your voice, and you're yelling at him. Your anger is overflooding, but with that 8, you can't make out the words that you're saying. There's this anger that you're having. You're wanting to hold him accountable. He has to answer for what he's done. And as that happens, you feel yourself being sucked backwards, away from the door. And you just see him kind of put his head down and reach up and just shut it on you. Now we're going to move to the next person in initiative order. I'll give you a chance to share your thoughts with me, or if you have a question. You good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go number 5 is Shacoma. And then 5.5 is going to be Silouan. This is going to be your chance to activate and do something interesting. Okay? So, Shacoma. She has a great spear. Okay? And she has those circular blades, those chakrams, that dangle off of her side of a chain that goes between them, that she wears dangling down behind her, that jingles behind her as she runs. Heavily clad in armor that seems to represent and look like an ancient carving of the Tarask. It is some very traditional, ceremonial type heavy armor that she wears. Shacoma is going to charge up 10 foot and do a great heave. Okay? So as she runs forward 10 foot, she's going to let loose of this great spear, throwing it to start with both hands, almost like a javelin throw. So this is almost like a charging strike, but this is with a thrown weapon. So she charges that distance, and as she does, you hear her saying a certain word, and smoke starts to roll out from the chest area of this heavy armor that she has on. At first it looks fooling, as if she's busting through fog or something like that, but then you can smell something brewing from inside as she throws the spear. Natural 18. Do me a favor, Darius, roll me a 1d20. I want to see how well number 3 does versus her roll. That'll dictate how I describe this turn.
You sure with all my negative or with all my nat ones?
Yes.
I rolled a 5.
That's awesome. That's great. She rolled an 18. It rolls a 5. That helps me paint a picture, right? So, turn this down a touch. There we go. So, as she hurls this great spear at the creature, it buries deep. As it goes to grab onto the spear, it actually goes through the webbing of the hand of the creature and pins it over to his chest, and it goes in high, up along the shoulder area, piercing in and sticking its hand to its own body as it yells out in pain in her direction. The mouth opens, the spit flies out. You see these creatures have larger teeth than you thought they did. I'm talking like fucking teeth, people. Like 5-6 inches. And the muscular jaws on these creatures are intimidating looking. Okay, this thing could chomp stones. These things look brutally... You know, I was looking into it. Side note, gorillas have one of the strongest bites in the animal kingdom. Hippos beat them. Lions, all that shit, don't have nothing on them from what I've read and seen. They have such a strong bite, people don't ever think about it. So, with that, the spear goes in, dealing heavy, heavy damage. And as that happens, she runs up and she throws her arms back and she yells out a word, and a fire breath comes out of the suit of armor. Where there's teeth and stuff that come down over the chest plates that cover her breasts, and the bottom parts that are above where her abdomen would be, a breath weapon projects forward from the actual armor itself in a 15-foot cone. I'm going to roll a dex save. A disadvantage for the creature because now it has a spear stuck through it and pinning one of its arms. Just to see how this goes. It poured it. It takes full damage from that. And the damage would be... Just a minute. Ooh. 24 to number 3. Okay, 24 points of damage. Bonus action, throw. Did the run for 10, 20. It's going to go up, and she's going to grab onto the spear, and she's going to do a strength athletics to try to topple the creature. Pushing on that spear, she runs up and grabs onto it and tries to push the creature the rest of the way over. Corey, roll me a 1d20 and a 1d8. Tell me what you get.
A 17 and a 4.
It's 21. Dude, that's awesome. I got 22. I just barely was enough. With her momentum, she's able to topple number 3 with the spear stuck in it, and number 3 is prone. Okay, prone. Alright, that's Shacoma's turn. Silouan, I'll give you a chance as a free action to ask Merc a question, and then it is up to you to do what you want to do. Go ahead and play it out. What's happening?
First of all, does he physically have his weapon?
Jeremy?
Okay.
Yeah, she'll see him. He's got his weapon out. He's swinging it just like he is on the outside.
So, before I ask any sort of questions, here's just, I want to talk it out real quick. Is that's okay?
That's right. Hey, it's what we do, right? It's all good.
So I was looking at the different stuff that she has, and a lot of it isn't necessarily helpful in this time period, like gust of wind or thunderclap or the thunder wave. All of that would sort of wrap up Darius in it with, if she's able to get it off. So what I'm thinking is, if she is able to physically touch his weapon with elemental weapon, does that translate into the physical one? Into the outside one, I mean.
So we'll say if you're free action, you're asking him this.
Okay.
Okay, Jeremy, you believe it may have an effect.
I was like, I can give you, and then like acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder. What do you want?
Nice. The spell of many things.
And or could just, I don't know. I've never tried it. Let's try fire.
Okay.
Thunder it is. So I think she goes over and like touches his sword.
Okay. And you're doing thunder.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that maybe the closest to, because if we're in like a psychic space, I imagine that maybe a sound, like the physical stuff may not be as strong as they normally
Cool.
would, and maybe thunder is closer to force. I'm not entirely sure.
I like it. Okay, go ahead. So you're casting the spell. Use the magic points and roll me a 1d20 plus your spell casting ability modifiers, which is 4 for proficiency and 3 for charisma. And tell me what you get.
Okay.
This will tell me the potency.
What's the MP for this, by the way?
What level spell is that?
Um, that is. Let's see. According to the spell-like ability list for her, it says level 3. Is that level 3?
Oh, is that when you learn the spell?
Hmm.
Oh, this is a skill ability that has that effect. This is something you learn from leveling up as a lancer, or is this actual magical spell that you're casting?
I believe it's. I'm looking at. Sorry if you hear my dog whining in the background.
It's okay.
I pulled up her Silouan spell/spell-like ability list.
Okay, so the reason that's in there is because it describes something you're able to unlock by using one of your innate abilities. You can't cast a level 3 spell, but you have an ability as a Skylancer that triggers that spell.
Okay.
Okay.
So can I still do it then?
I'm going to let you do it this one time just because we're still learning. But in the future, you want to look through that list and see which ones you can actually cast versus which ones are referencing spell-like abilities from your kit.
I can look for something else.
We're here. We're good.
Okay.
So it's going to be 7. It's going to be a level 3. 1, 3. It's going to be 5 magic points.
Okay. And I think that it ends up being a.
And do this roll with disadvantage because of the spell level, because of what we just discussed.
Yeah.
It'll help take a little bit of the slack out of the situation for me and make me feel better about it.
Yeah, I initially rolled a 6, just rolled a 17, so 6 plus 7, 13.
Yeah, so you're going to get the average version of this. So go ahead and describe to Jeremy what it looks like and what benefits it gives him.
So I'm not quite sure how you would describe something getting imbued with thunder damage, because it's more of that booming sort of sound type
I'd say a
thing.
vibrating aura and energy would start to swirl around the weapon. It'd be pulsating and it would look like turbulence.
Okay.
And you would see actually distortion and shaking of the blade in that moment as if it's holding back something forceful.
So for the duration, the weapon has +1 bonus to attack rolls and deals an extra 1d4 damage of the chosen type. So
Okay.
1d4 thunder damage whenever you hit.
There you go, Jeremy. So that's on your blade now, okay, buddy? +1 to hit, plus 1d4 thunder damage. And if you do something amazing like 19s or 20s, I may do push with that, 10-foot push. We'll just have to see.
Okay.
Okay?
And I don't think there's much else I can do. It's not like she can really go.
That's pretty much
anywhere.
it for now,
Yeah.
yes.
Sounds
So that
good.
is Silouan's go. Okay, now we're on number 6.
I'm gonna let my dog outside real quick.
You're okay. Okay, this is going to be the Shaman's turn. Okay. Fun stuff. So, as that happens, the Shaman is going to weave his hands around. Okay? And as he does this, he starts this grumble deep underneath of his breath. And pieces of stone and stuff start to levitate up off the ground, particles of these ancient statues that have been broken off. And they start to swirl and collect around him. And as he takes all 4 of his arms and he pounds them on the ground, "Rah!" He says something like that. All the stones go towards one of these soldiers and encase them in what looks like an armor made out of all the collected rock and stuff as it clings and attaches to them everywhere except for where their eyes were. And where their eyes were at on their head seemed to be these glowing orange and red spheres looking out from this elemental defense that he has put around one of them. It would be cast on... He's going to go ahead and put it on number 2. And it looks like this. And now you have what looks like a 4-armed version of this thing with its arms raised up that is completely covered in these stones and spikes and stuff with glowing red spheres where the eyes were. Okay, that is going to be that, and the shaman is going to move.
Does it change in size at all, or is it still medium?
These things are large. They've always been large, and it stays large. 15, 20. It is going to go right here 25 foot backwards, and it's going to have partial cover against attacks just because of the thick clouds, and it gets into these vines and stuff on the other side here to try to hide itself. I'm going to turn it down a little bit so it appears to fade and disappear into this, which gives it half cover. And that is going to be the end of the shaman's turn. And Jeremy, this is the dude you're seeing in front of you now, buddy. All right,
Starting to
so
look a little bit like Brahmas.
maybe so. Not quite. Well, stones. Let's see here. That was number 6. Number 7 is going to be, where were you at? That's Braxel. That's cool. Braxel, you awesome man. He is going to drop on, and his arms go out, and he catches himself, and he's on all 4s. Okay? And as he does, he throws his head up, and he pulls one of his arms back as he's on the ground like that, and he pulls that hood over top of his head and brings it down, and you can see him start to transform and shift as he becomes one of these jaguar like creatures, and the shift happens. And as he does, he's going to lash out running this way. He's going to run in between these two. And as he does, he's going to have the tentacles on both sides that are coming out of the whiskers. He is going to go through and he's going to do psychic blast damage to the one that's holding Darius and the one up here with 2 attacks. $12 plus stuff. Let me roll a dice. Hold on. 12 plus. Well, big numbers. That hits, but it didn't breach the one that is holding Darius. I need it to do a Constitution saving throw. Let's see how it does. Fail. Okay. That one that has a hold of you, Darius. Well, I'll explain to everybody else because you're not quite back with us yet. You're slowly starting to come back into consciousness. It failed its Constitution roll miserably. You have been dropped, and you are now prone on the ground, but I will say the drop has stirred you awake. So at the beginning, on your next turn, you'll have your action, which is theatrically doing what stun does anyway. You're only stunned for the turn. You've already had that turn. It passed. This is going to be the thing that activates you waking back up again. Okay? So theatrically in the combat, this works. It is going to take damage from the strike from this talons that are on this thing. Let me go ahead and roll my damage for that. And then the psychic damage for that. 15. And that is number... Which one is that one there? This is 2 here. That's number 1. Okay. Let's go ahead and do 15. Okay. And then let's roll on the other one. The attack on the second one over there is this and this. And that is going to be 18. That hits and breaches. And now that one has to do a Constitution save. 10 plus 15 just fails. It needed 17. So it also takes the damage. I'll keep it the same for expedience. So that is going to be this one up here. Number 3. And it is stunned. Not paralyzed, but these are stunned. Okay, so I'm going to do some effects here real quick. And as he runs through, let's go ahead and do this real quick. He's going to continue through. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. And he already used the bonus action to pull up the psychic damage. He gets one more swipe with a tentacle. He's going to try to hit this big old boy right here. And that is going to be a miss. A swing and a miss. He was not able to hit this large corrupted one over here. And that is going to be the end of Braxel's turn. These two here, the one that had a hold of Darius, number 1 and number 3, are stunned. So Jeremy, help me remember that, please, or Colby, somebody, that 1 and 3 are stunned. I'm going to write it down, but just in case I'd forget. Look here. S-T-U-N-N, which is going to end the rage for number 1. And number 3 was prone, too, because Shacoma had it down with a spear stuck in it. So it's in real bad shape. And that just gives it disadvantage on rolls and stuff until its next turn. Okay? Now that we've got that out of the way, that was Braxel, his turn. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 is going to be an Ozaman soldier number 2. That's going to be the one down here that is made out of stone. All right. Brahmas, you're the closest one, sir. Is getting ready to bring the thunder.
Damn.
So, that's number 2. He is going to square up with you, and he is going to pummel. Just a minute here. Your weapon defense is halved versus these attacks because of the large stone arms and the size of this creature. So what is your weapon defense currently adding to your armor class?
Well, with a powerful build and the other feat I took, I basically count as a large creature.
Well, it's not so much your size, it's because of the earth and stuff that it has on it.
I got...
It'd be parry. How much does that add to your armor class primary?
Efficiency plus skill, so
it'd be 4 plus what?
4 plus 4.
So it's 8. So it'd be minus 4. You only get half weapon defense. So whatever your armor classes are, both numbers are 4 lower than they typically would be versus these attacks. Okay? The first attack is like, it's terrible. It's 14. That misses.
I like to counter strike.
Go ahead. So it's 14. What would it have taken to hit your armor class primary?
Let's see.
Huh?
Chill. Okay, I'll take it. Let's see. 10, 11, 12, 13. 21, 17.
Okay, so this attack has a +3 to it. So whatever your attack roll is, your 1d20 and bonuses, add 3 to that because it missed you by that much for the counter strike.
Okay. Now, do I get to add the thunder damage and all that to it too? The +1 to hit?
Yep.
Cool. Because that's 18 plus 3 is a 22 plus 1 is 23 plus 10 is a 33.
A 33 hits and breaches. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's 19 slashing 2 thunder. 2 radiant.
Okay. Total is what?
It's 19, 23, I think it is.
Okay.
2,
23?
yeah.
Okay, just a minute here. Make sure I'm doing something right. Number 2. Whoo, my. Yeah, that's not good. As you do that, you notice that this is reduced quite a bit just because of the armor that is on it. But as you do, you see some of the stones have lost their purchase and are starting to dissipate on the spot that you hit. Okay? You are affecting it as if this armor is a collective pool of points that is being shielded by, not unlike armor of Hadar. Okay? It is going to continue. $24. Does that hit and breach or just hits?
Just hits.
Okay. That is going to be 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Can I soak some of that up?
Can you soak some of that up?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. Merc takes non-lethal damage on the inside because you're all getting knocked around what's going on outside. Okay? So you both are going to take the non-lethal inside of this. So what happens is, what I say that amount was again, what was it, Jeremy?
11.
It was 11 points of damage. Okay? So you look at your non-lethal damage on your character sheet, and it says you take 1 point for slash every other so many points. What does that say on your sheet?
Mine's 1 every 5, so I'd take 2 lethal.
You would take 2 lethal. On your sheet, what does that say? It'd be right beside your hit points. It say non-lethal damage. It's going to say 1 slash something.
4.
Okay, so you would have taken 2 points of damage, non-lethal, just from the shaking and stirring of what's going on the outside, and 3 points of non-lethal. When that gets up to 4, you'll take another point of lethal. You understand how it works? Every 4 non-lethal equals 1 lethal for you. And that's from the shaking and turbulence on the inside of this. And Brahmas's outside, exterior, will take the full damage.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Wouldn't she just take the same damage I would, since Brahmas himself is the one soaking up the non-lethal damage?
No, you both are. You're both inside there.
Oh, yeah, never mind. You're right.
Yeah. Okay? All right, next attack. This thing gets 4 of them. That's a 22.
Won't breach.
No breach, just hit. Okay? And that is going to be 13 points of bludgeoning damage. That means you would take 3 lethal, Bella. And Jeremy would take 2. And the final attack. A 16 plus stuff. 30. Okay.
Breach.
All right. And that damage is 21 points of bludgeoning. Four, 8, 12, 16, 20. That means you would have took 5 points of lethal, Bella, and you would have taken 4 points merc on the inside of here, as this thing is just battering down on the exterior of you guys. This thing gets an extra D4 for each attack in succession on damage. This is one of its grill, and it's just beaten down with the hammering part of these big stone fists. That's going to be the end of its turn. Let me go ahead and mark that down. That was number 3. Okay, let's go ahead and go to... Make sure I'm doing this right. Just 1 second. Number 2. Okay, now we've got the other one going up here. This fella that's prone and stunned, he is going to try to push up and get out from underneath of this, but he does it with a disadvantage because of the tentacle attack from Braxel, which has him stunned to a degree. Let's do this with disadvantage. 2 of these. It's a 7 and a 17. He is not able to fight against the strength of Shacoma, as this creature is trying to get up. That psychic damage from the blast from Braxel has made it where he's struggling, and he cannot bring that spear out of his chest and get himself pushed up in that moment. Which leaves him options on the ground. His movement, he did his check. He couldn't do it. Oh no, because nobody got stunned, so the rage would have ended. That's the end. Okay, that's the end for number 3. Okay, and now we're on to the last one, and we're going to start again. Now we're getting to some good stuff. When the DM says that, no one should like it. In that moment, the last person to go on the turn, the corrupted. Okay? As it leans forward and beats its hands heavily on its chest, fighting back against the fact that that Braxel just tried to hit it with one of those tentacle attacks and was missed, he beats his chest, and as he does, you see what's very similar to that thunder force that you saw around the blade that you put on there, Silouan. This distortion of space begins to form around the horns on this thing's head. Okay? And as this happens, something comes into view. A dark void begins to open up around the creature, making the weather and stuff in the background subside. As this happens, it seems like the rain and everything gets sucked down into it, and at the same time the clouds begin to part and blow away from this. Okay? As this happens, everything within that area, within a 30-foot radius of him, has to do a Constitution saving throw. That's friends and foes alike, and starts getting sucked in towards him up to 15 foot. Okay? So Constitution saving throw for Brahmas. Let's go ahead and do one for Darius. You're prone, but you can still do something about this while you're on the ground. And I will roll one for Braxel. And we will see what happens here, as he is wildly taking this gravitational vortex and drawing shit into him.
So, if I'm stunned...
Well, you're out of stun now. You're stunned on your turn, and you get to act normally on your next one. When he dropped you and snapped you out of the stun, you're laying on the ground prone currently.
And you're gonna roll for the other man after this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Corey.
Could we argue that Darius has advantage on not getting sucked into the void since he's prone, closer to the ground?
Because here's my only thing. I want to make sure, because if I had a stun like if I was a monk, right, and I had the ability to stun,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't. The person I would stun as a monk can't do anything whatsoever until the start of their next turn. So
Right.
I just
Normally
make
that would have
sure.
done that. And what we did theatrically was, because those tentacles were able to hit that creature and it dropped you.
Okay,
I'm saying that kind of stirred you back to
that's fine.
consciousness, almost like a person slapping you.
I'm cool with theatrics. I just know, like, as a player, like if I were to stun a creature and then we would theatrically say, "Oh, it's no longer stunned," I'd be like, "Hell no! I just wasted a whole fucking key point for that."
I get it. Well, but you did lose your action on your turn.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I'm
we're in
not
the
arguing
aftermath.
because I'm in a benefit. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
that going forward, like what to kind of think about.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So.
No, and prone does not help you hold your ground, because you can roll just as easily as you can get pulled.
Right.
Now, just out of curiosity, why is that Constitution versus like a Strength? Because I'm on the ground, I could grab into the ground and hold on with my Strength.
Well, you know, I thought about that too, because this is based on a gravity spell that I saw in the book, right?
Okay.
And let's have a discussion, because that's what we do here, right? So, anytime you're trying to keep from being pulled by something, that's strength,
Yeah.
right? And then anytime you're trying to fight against some kind of physical thing harming you, and to the degree of the harm, that's constitution.
Yeah.
But typically, no spell wants you to make two different saving throws to see what the effects are.
Right.
So, in this instance, I kind of want to do that, but I wanted to talk to you guys about it first, because the spell in D&D that is written, these gravity spells, this is a Constitution saving throw. It does crushing damage, and it pulls everybody in towards the center of it. Okay? So, in fairness, the spell descriptions, it has two effects. It pulls you in, and it crushes you at the same time with the weight of gravity. So, and I thought about that when I was reading it. I was like, dude, that sounds like two saving throws. You know? So I think we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm glad you brought it up. I wasn't going to make beef of it or try to slow down stuff any more than we already do. But you make a valid point.
It makes sense, strength to hold your ground, and then constitution to shrug off the crushing weight.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because basically, what it sounds like, because I've never seen these before, so I just looked them up. There's gravity sinkhole, gravity fissure, and magnified gravity. All three of those use con, but reverse gravity uses dexterity, because it's your ability to, grab onto something or whatever.
Right on. But I would go with dex, but when you grab onto something, are you strong enough to hold on?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I think it should be. I think it's should be your choice, dex or strength, right? Because you could dex out of the way or strength hold your ground. And then if you fail that one and you get grabbed in, then it's a constitution, because now you're dealing with that gravitational pull pushing on your body.
Okay.
Right? I just throwing that out
No,
there.
I'll do that. I'll say that, but I do want to be strength, because this isn't something that you have a chance to. This kind of starts sucking up automatically. So I guess I'll do that. I'll say if you want to do a dex to try to dart out of the area effect before it gets heavy, we'll use your movement and you're able to get out of there. Okay? But if you're inside of that, you don't have the movement to get out of it. You may want to do a strength to make sure, okay, if I know I can't run this fucking thing, I want to try to hold my ground and grab onto something and make sure it doesn't pull me. So it being your choice, that's fine as long as we're reacting to that choice. So if you're wanting to do a dex, I'm having you use your movement for your next turn and moving your character out of the way using your movement. If you're choosing strength, you can stand your ground. You understand what I mean?
Where's the shaman?
Huh?
Where'd the shaman go? I don't see him.
Well, you wouldn't, because he ran back there and he's in half cover in the grass, so it's perfect.
Oh, he ran away. Okay.
Plus, you were knocked out when he ran too, so.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, literally. So, let's go ahead, Corey. What saving throw do you want to do? You're prone, so I'm going to say it's going to take at least half your movement to get up, and then if you're wanting to do dex to get out of the way, it'd be an extra 10 foot to get out of the area of this. That's going to be 25 foot of movement minimum to be able to outrun this, or you can try to just strength it and hold on to something there.
Yeah, I mean, I would just imagine that with him being on the ground and him just coming out of consciousness, he doesn't have time to dexterity his way out of it.
Makes sense. I
That
like
he would be gripping to the ground as best he can.
Okay, go ahead and roll that strength check. Tell me what you get.
Yeah. Are we saving throw or are we skilled?
It's a saving throw.
A saving throw, okay.
And I know the DC because I rolled it already for his spell.
Get +4 for being close to me.
All right. So that's that would be a flat 20.
A 20, hold your ground against it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Jeremy, we discussed that on physical ability checks that aren't mystical, that this aura of you doesn't grant people extra strength or dexterity. Remember, we discussed this. It would help against wisdom saving throws and arcane-like stuff, but when it comes to a physical element, your mystic aura, having been a paladin in this version of the game, doesn't affect how strong his grip is.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I've always questioned that in 5th edition. I'm like, how the fuck does that even do?
You know, and it's still amazingly good ability because we give and we take away. But I do remember discussing that. So what was your saving throw without
So
that 4 added in?
That'd be a 16 then.
Okay, 16 would have failed. Okay, so you were grabbing on. And did you add your bonuses for being hybrid?
Pretty sure. I'll say
Because you're stronger as a hybrid, right?
Yeah, well, you get advantage.
Okay, so do you want to roll it again?
No, I rolled advantage.
Okay, you're like,
Yeah.
that ship sailed, Brian. I'm sorry, but all right, that's cool. I was just trying to hook you up. So this is able to drag you in. Now do a Constitution for me, and tell me what you get.
A 6.
That fails. You take damn. Yeah. 25 points of force damage. All right? As you feel this crushing on you, and it's hard to breathe. This shit is actually making your bones crack, and you can feel your elbows digging into your sides as you're just trying to hold on for dear life, and it's going to pull you 15 foot towards it. Okay, let me go ahead and move you real quick, and then we're going to move to the next person. All right. Brahmas, roll your strength or dex. What are we doing?
Oh, it's going to be strength. That's a 17.
A 17 just makes it. That's what you needed. It just makes it. So you're able to stand your ground. You are still in the vortex, though. Okay, so you're not pulled towards it. Go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw. And this is using the health and pretty much the structural build of Brahmas. We've discussed that. I love the chess that we play as we do this. It's fun. Yes, go ahead.
13.
13? 13 does not work. Okay, let's go ahead and do same damage, which was, what did we say that was, Corey? It was like 20, what was
25.
it? 25 points of force damage. Okay.
Can I get reduced by armor?
No, not in this instance. It goes to your armor, but this is encompassing a complete area. This would do damage to all of his shit. This is an area encompassing ability. Okay. But you do hold your ground. You're not pulled. And then let's see what it does to the other ones real quick. Oh, D20, come back to me. Come on, buddy. Oh, epic fail. Epic fail. Come on, D20. Don't let me down. Oh, goodness. That's my favorite one. I can't lose that one, man. That's crap. That's a fail. Old Stone Buddy here is getting pulled back. Let's do that real quick. The enemies, the enemies. Enemies, is that you there? No. That is you. You are getting pulled in. It's getting crunched. Let's do you. He succeeds. He is not getting pulled. And then I will do the damage here in just a minute with constitutions. And then let's go to... He succeeds. Let's go to you. Okay. That's you. Let's roll for you real quick. He fails. Okay. He is also sucked in.
I was about to say, wasn't he stunned as well?
Yes. Yes. Which I would have given him disadvantage, but yeah, it's bad news. Okay, and they are taking this damage. I'm going to do... It's a fail. Goddamn, fail. And a pass. It's just the way it should be. Okay, so the two that are uncorrupted are going to take that damage. 25. He's hurting bad, that one there. Minus 25. He's hurting bad. And Bad Boy here, that is the Stone Soldier, is only minus 10. He is hanging in there good. Okay. After that, the creature is going to use its bonus action. Oh, I got to roll for Braxel real quick. Sorry. Braxel holds his ground, but fails the Constitution. Ouch. Okay. And what he does with his bonus action, what's that, Bella?
I'm confused real quick. So even if you hold your ground, you take the full amount of damage?
If you're using strength to stand your ground, yes. You just don't get the drag. If you're using dex to get the hell out of there, and something of that nature, you're not in the vortex anymore to have the thing crush you.
Got it.
It depends on your choice, which I think makes sense. Okay? So, as it's drawn in, he's going to use his bonus action to do a stomp attack against one of these creatures down here. Let's go ahead and say it's a 1 through 3. It's going to be Braxel. And 4 through 6, it's going to be Darius.
I feel like...
Yes.
I feel like if we're all being pulled into this vortex and we're all amalgamation of all these things...
Yes.
That, like, shouldn't it all just be whatever he's stomping on, we're all just sharing damage because we're all getting stomped on at the same time?
Well, it's 1 foot on one person.
Okay.
Because he's done the spell. That's his major action. This is just his bonus action to do, like, one attack thing. This is using his attack. It's almost like like a monk gets 2 unarmed attacks but uses his bonus action. A monk can always use its bonus action to just do 1 extra melee attack. That's all this is. He's just stomping something that's prone that's been drug into him.
But correct me if I'm wrong, a monk to do that extra bonus action attack has to use an attack action, can't use a spell or any other action.
Correct. He's not a monk.
Okay. You were correlating that, and I was making sure that wasn't the...
No, I just... Okay. Similarly...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. That is going to be Braxel. And it is going to be 23, which hits. And that stomp damage is going to be 10. Ouch. Sorry, buddy. Okay. All right. So, with that, the gravity field dies back down. Let's go ahead and do this. And as it is done, the weather seems to pick back up now. It's not being sucked down into this to a degree. And we will start the round over. It is going to be, top of the round, number 1 was going to be one of the soldiers, and then it's going to be Darius. Make sure we got 1. Where's number 2? First is going to be him. Then you're going to have Brahmas. Then you're going to have Darius. Then shortly after that, Kiltusk. Okay, so that's our order. Number 1 is Ozo Soldier number 1. Then number 2 was Brahmas. Number 3 was Kiltusk. Number 4 was Darius. That's our order of initiative, okay? So, with its turn, number 1. As he's been sucked in, he is hurting, dude. He is hurting pretty badly. He's bloodied. Okay. Okay. He is going to... We've got Braxel here. We've got Darius right in front of him. We've got Shacoma over here. That had that... they had that lance stuck in that one. I gotta do something real quick. I forgot. Let me do a strength check first. She rolled poorly. When this number 3 Ozaman was sucked away off of her lance as she had it stuck to the ground with that great spear, with the strength check that I just rolled with her, a natural 3, I'm gonna say it was too much for her to keep that stuck in there. Okay, and I'm going to give it exit wound damage from being tore off of this great spear and sucked into the middle of this gravity well. Okay? Because theatrically, I could see that happening. 5. Ooh, that sucks. Okay, let me see here. There's number 3. That's 5. Got it. Okay. So, now. So, Ozaman is going to turn. And it is going to attack Darius. Now, you did just strength, so you are still prone, correct?
I mean, I don't know. If this thing pulled me closer to it, am I drug on the ground being pulled?
It'd be drug along the ground, yeah.
Okay, then sure.
Okay. All right. $19.
What do I not have?
On versus this one right now, you have everything. The only thing is you don't have let's see, if you're prone, you don't have prone fighting as a feat or any skill points to that. So I'm going to say that your ability to defend yourself and move out of the way is going to be halved, but you'll still have your armor on. So your bonus from dodge and parry is going to be halved. So what's your normal armor class primary?
24 plus 1 in lichen form.
Okay, so it'd be 25. So it's 10 plus 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 8. 10 plus 8 is going to be 18. Because I'm going to half those benefits because you're on the ground. Okay? And then you're going to have your armor defense on top of that still. So this would have hit you, but it wouldn't have breached you. This roll that I just made. And the damage from this attack is...
I'd like to use Abolishing Strike.
Outstanding. Okay, go ahead and use your reaction. This would have been 9 points of bludgeoning damage. Go ahead and roll the 1d10.
Seven.
That takes that out of the available range, and that would have turned that into a miss. So you take nothing from that strike as you were able to abolish the fist coming down on you. Now, what's great about this is I want you to roll just your regular weapon damage. And tell me what that is.
Damage, sorry.
Yeah. There's a reason for this.
I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like he dropped his rapier, so which they're both the same damage, but
Oh, you're in hybrid form. So just however you're doing your abolishing strike, you described to me what you were using to abolish it with.
yeah, like I imagine he's just like he's on the ground and just was holding himself. And as the gravity began to kind of dissipate, right when he was turning to get himself up, this creature comes over and tries to whack him, and he just kind of puts his hand up in defense to whack it away.
Okay.
So that'd be 9.
Okay. When you are doing an abolishing a strike against an unarmed attack, their unarmed attack is going to take damage from you striking it.
Oh.
The abolishing attack is a counter attack. You're clashing against the thing that's coming at you. So, so when he's coming down with that fist and he's coming to hit you, you're going up with your claw and you're meeting that son of a bitch head on and you're hitting it. And that's stopping it from hitting you. But because he's bare fisting it, he takes damage from this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to take the 9. There's going to be this one here. Okay. -9. Okay, and the next one. $22. $22 is a hit, correct?
Oh, sorry. Hits me?
Yes.
Do I still have 25 minus, what was it? -8, you said?
Yeah, you're like, it's like 18, and then your breach
Then yeah.
is, okay. And that is going to be 7 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then it is going to let's see here. I want to make sure I'm utilizing this the way I want it to be.
Just out of curiosity, did it pass the saving throw to continue attacking? Because don't they have to pass some saving throw after I abolish?
Oh, that's great. What is that? The DC is about how much they
it says
missed you
10
by.
plus, 10 plus whatever they missed me by.
Okay, and you rolled a 5, correct?
I rolled a. Oh shit!
Oh, I know what it was. I know what it. I did the math in my head. It's going to be it's 5. It's going to be a 15.
Okay.
Someone to do, and it's athletics to be able to continue.
So it says strength or dex, my choice. I would assume based on how he was doing it, it'd probably be strength.
Okay. And I got to beat a 15 DC, or else my turn ends abruptly because you've put me and thrown me off my game by that attack.
Right.
It's a 13. Put a halt to him. Put the brakes on him. All right. That is going to end his turn abruptly, as you're able to come up and slash in this hybrid form, which is going to stop his assault, because these things get 4 attacks a turn. Okay? Number 2 is going to be Brahmas. What are you doing, sir?
Alright. So squared up with Stony Dude.
Yes.
I'm going to bonus action overdrive.
Okay, and which overdrive are you using?
Strength. And
Awesome.
For this, given that Silwyn's in there, Merc's going to holler out at her. But come here. Give me your hand. And basically, to add to his strength, he's going to have Silwyn put a hand on that blade as well. And just kind of both of them.
Nice, I like it. I like the use of the space, sir. That's cool. Silwyn, you good with this? All right, awesome. Okay, and what is it you're trying to do now that you have the extra added might of Silwyn as she's helping you swing this greatsword from within Brahmas? You going at the big stone guy here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I gotta see here. I think my damage dice is at 1d6 now.
And
I'll do 1d6.
remember, Kill Tusk, you're going to be next. And then we're going to do Darius is 4, and then we're going to take a break. Okay.
All right. So I got a 5, which means my strength goes up 5 points.
That's fucking sweet, sir. Okay.
Put me at a whomping total of 25.
Okay.
So I think that's a. What is it? Is that a +8 or +7?
I think it's a 7.
Okay. So, first thing I would like to do is, yeah, kids ain't wanting to go to bed.
I understand.
I want to attempt to grapple this dude.
Okay. Now, that's fine and all. But the theatrics are a little weird. If she's helping you grab onto the sword and helping you swing it, and then you're going to grapple, that's strange.
But basically, theatrically speaking, it's Silwen lending her strength.
Okay. All right. I'm cool. I'm down with that. That's all good.
Rather than Merc having to rush over and tweak stuff.
I know you're not feeling good too, buddy, so it's all good. I'm not going to drag you through the mud. Jeremy's just like, Brian, just let him fucking do it, man. Come on. What are we here for? What are we doing? It's all good, buddy. Go ahead and do your grapple check and explain to me the way in which you want to grab Stone Guy over here.
So basically, if I can, I'd like to use my movement to get behind him and grapple him from the back so that I've only got to worry about his upper 2 hands.
So you're thinking that if you were behind him, he could only get you with 2 of the forearms.
Mm-hmm.
Explain your logic of that.
Well, if you think about it, if somebody comes up and grabs you from behind, you can't reach back and punch him like that. So his lower 2 arms are going to be kind of at a reach disadvantage, whereas his upper 2, he can reach back and do that number. He can still hit behind his head, but the 2 further down can't reach that far back.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move you around. Staying within range of him. Now you're back behind him. And you are wanting to grapple. Go ahead and roll your check.
It's going to be
Turn you towards him. I love that I can do that. Okay.
an 18 plus 7, so 25.
25? Okay. I'll tell you what, he gets here in just a minute. Because he has a bonus. You both are super strong at the moment.
Hold on a second. I might have more to add to that, too.
Well, he rolled a natural 3. He didn't do very good at all. So you won't need it. You have him gripped onto from behind with both your arms. Okay? Now, normally in D&D, to grapple someone takes your action, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, usually you can use one of your attacks to grapple.
Okay. Now, are you bear hugging him or are you just grabbing him?
I'm getting on there and I'm bear hugging.
Okay. I'll give you that. Now what are you doing, buddy?
I would like. See, I used how much movement to get around the back of him? 15?
15 foot.
Let's see. 6. I didn't take grappling mastery. That's all right. So, if you would allow it, since I don't have any kind of special anything that I could really throw into it, I'll let you kind of decide how I should go about it.
I'm good at that. Go ahead. What are we doing?
I want this guy down on the ground, face down.
Are you wanting to Greco-Roman him?
I want him face down.
Face down.
Mm-hmm. I'm behind him, bear hugging him. So if I've got to like leap forward and put all my weight down on him, one way or the other, it's basically going to be a shove with my foot in front of his. If
Okay.
You wanna make it that way.
Okay. Roll an attack just so I can see how the footwork and shit moves of this.
Unarmed strike or
Yeah. But if you're doing a trip to get him down, I want to see how successful that is.
27.
That's good enough. Okay. So that's another attack to get that foot in there to make this happen. Now that you've got him grappled and he's stationary, this is another contest to be able to knock him prone. Let's go ahead and do another check, please. This is going to be your turn. This is going to be it. Okay? Tell me what you get on this one. Oh, you're fucked. I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
You're done, son.
That's all right. I'm still good being bear hugged behind him.
Okay, so you've got him grappled. And when you went to do this and step up, it's amazing the strength that he presents. You may have him, but it's like in the Watchmen. It's like you're stuck in here with me. You know, it's that kind of moment where it's like you may have him, but he has you too. That's going to be that because I had you do 2 different grapples and a step in, and your movement. You used a bonus action for the boost in strength, and that lasts for the turn, correct? Okay. With that, let's go ahead and move to Kill Tusk.
Okay.
You're damn right it's okay. We got this.
I remember when I saw you Tuesday, you asked if I could bring Loki to this, and I told you I don't know. Am I still able to do that?
If you want to spend your, I'll let you use a bonus action to call to him, but that's going to be he wouldn't be able to get in there to the next turn because Rursi is going to have to let him enter if that were the case. Now, you realize we're already in a 5-on-5 matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that, it might be breaking a bit of etiquette.
Okay.
But you're not quite sure. I'll let you do whatever you want to do because it's D&D and it's amazing. But there could be repercussions for bringing in an extra entity into this.
I think I might wait.
Okay. Okay.
Is calculated assault a bonus action?
Calculated assault?
Mm-hmm.
What's it say there?
It's a wisdom +1 to a DC to seek out and find a weakness in a creature's defenses. To see
You can do that once a turn, right?
Yeah. Can be used once a turn.
I don't think it's a bonus action to do that. I think it's a free thing you can do once a turn to add to an attack roll.
Okay.
So go ahead. And what is the DC?
13 plus the target's proficiency bonus.
Okay, it's 17.
Okay.
And you get a bonus to that for every skill point you've spent on the skill, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Roll it and let me know if you get.
Yeah, no, I didn't get it. I got 13.
Okay. So which one were you trying to target here? I'm just curious. Just for theatrics here.
Probably to try to get a more of an advantage on the rock one.
Okay. So after doing that and getting aimed up and using your wisdom and trying to use this insight ability you have to look into it, the grappling that and Brahmas are in the middle of doing makes it very hard for you to discern a good, clear shot. It's because of the dance and the wrestling that these two are doing is what throws you off on that. Okay? Let's go ahead and go for the rest of your turn. What's your actions here, sir? You are perched.
Mm-hmm.
Up here hiding behind the thing. What you doing, buddy?
We're gonna do a dual shot.
Okay. Which two do you want to shoot?
Um,
Your buddy Darius is in bad shape over here, and he's got him on both sides of him right now. He's having a hell of a time.
yeah, it's 1 and 3 within 5 feet of each other.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, then I'll do those two.
You roll a natural 1, though, you're going to pickle Darius. I'm just letting you know right now.
Yeah, I know.
I called it.
I'm trying not to think about it, Brian.
Okay, let's move past it. This shit just cup's half full, buddy. Cup's half full. Roll high.
You shouldn't have said anything, Brian.
Did you roll a fucking 1?
No, I've rolled 2. Here's the dex. So, yeah, no.
No. Your arrows go wild, sir. Wild.
Yeah, that's.
I cursed you.
I'm just saying, all my luck just went all into that first turn. Just went all into my first turn.
Okay, so this might be a situation where you might want to use your daily 1d6 for weapon specialization.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now what's your bonuses with your bow? 12 or 13?
For what?
For shooting arrows.
Attack is 12.
Okay, so right now you're sitting at a 14, right? If you roll a 6, that's going to put you at 20. That's going to be enough to hit these. You're going to have to do a 6 if you want to try your daily d6, or if you want to save it for a more realistic use of the situation. Okay, so what do you want to do here? I mean, you've missed these things clearly, and I'm not going to screw you over because you didn't roll 1, but something didn't work out. Your footing got weird, some fog got in your eye, some shit went crazy.
Actually, I just need to roll a 1, and I got it because the saving throw is a 15.
What's that?
It says that to use this feat acquired is a dex saving throw with DC.
Oh, you're doing that of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can add that to attack rolls and stuff. You couldn't use your weapon specialization on. Well, it's still part of the feat of being able to draw it out. Yeah, go ahead. I'll allow it.
Okay. Can I just make that the 1d4 then?
Yes.
Just take that for a little bit.
And you got what?
Yeah, that's a 3.
Okay. You're
That's a
able to
3,
pull off
so-
the dual shot. Now do your 2 attacks.
Okay.
Plus 12 each.
One is 24.
24 hits. And breaches.
And 31.
21 hits, but it does not breach. So I'm going to say... What's that?
I said 31.
31 net. Oh, shit, really? Okay, yeah. So you hit and breached
19 plus 12.
both of these. So Darius, as all this shit's going on, this guy come up there and you countered and you swiped at this one's fucking arm and stopped him dead in his tracks. All of a sudden you just hear, thump, right? He gets nailed hard with a breaching arrow attack, and you hear another, thump, over on the side where he just split them both, man. Go ahead and roll your damages and we'll move on.
Okay, so they're both going to be separate.
So it's your arrow damage plus 6, correct?
Yes.
Okay, roll them up. What do you got?
One's 11.
Nice.
And then 12 for the other.
Nice, dude. And that would be number, what is he? They're all grouped together here because someone wanted to do a goddamn gravity move and just fuck with everything. What is, that was number 3. What is, it's number 2, so it's number 1. Number 1 is minus 12. Okay. Number 1 is on death's door. That's the one that was actually attacking, I think, Darius. He looks rough. Okay, that's the one that is right here currently. Yeah. Okay, so having said that, what are you doing? That's one attack.
Yeah.
You got the dual shot, you pulled it off.
What else do I do?
What's up?
Trying to think what else I have available.
You have another attack.
Yeah, but I'm seeing like if I have like another feat I can use.
Okay.
I already used my bonus action for that calculated assault, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh. So my overdraw shot's a bonus action. Did I already use my bonus action?
No, you didn't use your bonus action on that calculated assault. That's just something you get to try once per turn. It doesn't take it. So you could do an overdraw shot with this second attack if you wanted, yes. So go ahead and do your strength, and let's see how many d6s you're adding to this.
Strength. 22. So that's two additional d6.
Awesome. So as you're pulling back your bow mightily once again, go ahead and roll your attack. 1d20 plus 12, plus an additional 1d6 daily if you want to see what you get here. And which one of these two are you peppering this down on? The one that's bloodied or the number 3 up there above it?
Can I see what number 3 looks like? Like,
I mean, you can tell he's okay, but the one here, number 1 that you hit, is on death's door. He looks like that hit really took the shot of him. He'd be the closest one to death. This one's still got a little bit of spin in him.
I'll try to knock out number 1 out of the fight.
Okay. What's your attack roll? 1d20 plus 12.
Okay.
Have you got it?
I think I'm going to use that 1d6 for this.
Okay. What is it so far?
14.
Okay. You rolled a 2 on your d20?
Yeah.
Okay.
$19.
19 just hits.
Okay. And now the damage.
Yep.
Okay. $16.
16 points of damage. Paint me a picture. What's it look like, boss? You just took him down.
Okay. So Darius probably might hear another arrow just powerfully, not like he can hear so much more force than the first arrow that hit him, and it just maybe knocks him straight into the ground and instantly just killing
Awesome.
him as soon as it hits him.
Just for fun, Darius, you'd see it wobble for a minute because it was hurting, and you were thinking, oh shit, this big bastard's going to land on me, right? And then that second arrow comes in, boom, and is enough to topple the thing backwards, knocking it kind of into this corrupted Ozoman back behind. And I'm going to go ahead and fade this one out. I'm not going to fade Brahmas out. I'm going to fade the Ozoman out. There we go.
Yeah, I didn't know if you're gonna have him fall into the corrupt or not. That's why I just said he was gonna fall.
Not with the natural 2.
Yeah.
But he is defeated. Okay? So you have movement, and that's about all you have left. Colby, what are you doing on your turn? You staying in your perch?
Yeah, I'm staying on my perch.
Okay. All right. You remember you also have those spells you can enact once a day that take a bonus action to do and things like that too. Darius, it is your turn. You were able to deflect the one attack. You saw arrows coming from Kiltusk's bow, which took this one out. It's laying there dead beside you. You are up underneath of the corrupted Ozoman with this other one over here. This one's bleeding out really bad. Has a large stab wound in it from the great spear of Shacoma. What are you doing in this moment, sir?
Oh, I'm gonna paint you a picture for the viewers.
Give it to me, buddy.
So Darius began to get, as he began to flutter awake, he felt that tug and just instinctually put his claws into the ground and was able to hold himself just long enough to realize what was going on before his claws released and he got sucked towards that creature and with like unable to breathe for a split second, like kind of was like, fuck, is this it? And then
it was a brutal first round.
When it dropped, he hits the ground and just like his animal instinct tells him like something's coming, and he just kind of puts a hand up and slashes the creature's hand out of the way. And the only thing he can smell is like that blood in the air and whatever this corrupted creature it's corrupted with, and it's an awful smell. It's different. And I just imagine he kind of like looks up, takes a breath. You're mine, boy. And he just
yeah, do it.
Just, all right. I've been looking through everything, and I'm attacking a fuck ton of times right now. I'm using steadfast.
Is this a metric fuck ton, or is this a cubic fuck ton? I need to know what I'm working with here, sir.
I'm going to be attacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times at a minimum.
Okay.
Possibly up to an additional 3, 4, 5.
I know what you're doing, and I like it.
So, first things first, I had to use half my movement to go from prone to whatever.
Right.
So I went from 50 to 25.
However, I say it's 15. This is another thing we need to clarify, because half of your movement, you may have like 60 foot of movement, where somebody else may have 30 or 40.
Yeah.
That means you're much more dexterous and able to do a shitload more than your average person. I'm not going to say getting up takes more movement from you just because your movement is greater. It's a standard 15.
I get you. But honestly, I kind of calculated all this and it all works out the same.
Awesome.
So
okay.
I stand up using steadfast assault. I'm not moving anywhere. I am fucking bum rushing this huge nasty ass creature with a bunch of attacks. So first things first, I'm going to make my first attack on the creature.
Yes.
For a nat fucking 20. You am.
What was that, a UAM? A UBLAM? Okay.
I was sitting here going like, man, I'm going to roll all these ones again. And the first one's a nat 20. So, that being said.
Combo attack gives you +1 the next one.
I know that I got all this stacked and ready.
He's had an hour. It's a long fight.
I did. I'm gonna just keep attacking because I'm attacking the one guy. He's focus firing on this corrupted because he's like, fuck, this thing just did this thing and I don't want this thing to do this thing again.
That is well spoken. Yes.
So
Jeremy's like it.
So with steadfast, I get two attacks because I had the amount of movement.
Yeah, and at the end of it, you'll do a Constitution saving throw to see if it exhausts you.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure it will. So this would be a 28 to hit.
That's a hit and a breach.
29 because I forgot the +1. +2 now.
Okay.
Fucking 18 on the die, so that's 32.
That's a breach.
All right, now check this out. So that's 3 hits, 3 breaches, right?
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I need to write this down. So
I got you. I'm with you.
Crit +2 hits. Now I am flourishing.
Yes, you are. With your claws, right?
With my claws.
Which you can do that. We've discussed it.
The flourish I want to use is slashing flourish. Whoo, come on, die. Don't fail me now. So I roll my inspiration die. If I roll a 9 or a 10, I get 3 additional attacks.
Yes, I know.
Oh, 1. Oh, 1. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's
you get one additional attack.
It's still 1.
Yeah,
still
I know.
1.
I know. That's cool.
And that's still, hold on, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 to hit.
That is a breaching attack as well.
That's +3. All right, so that's the flourish, steadfast, my 1 attack. I get an additional attack because of my bard being level 6.
Yes.
And, ooh, that's a little worse. 23.
That hits, but it doesn't breach, but you're still making contact.
Oh, actually, and I'm going to use my D6 to try to up that.
That's 1 a day.
Yep. 6 on the die.
That breaches.
All right, cool. So that's another. Now, I did have a question.
Oh,
because
please.
because my feat combo attack says that I get to make a if I hit at least twice, I get to make a bonus action attack.
Correct. It does damage in a half.
That does damage in half. But I also have my bard thing gives me a bonus action. But you only get one bonus action, so they don't stack, right?
Correct, unless you have two separate feats that are giving you two additional bonus actions. Like there's a feat that you can learn that gives you an extra one, but you have not used that feat. So you just have one bonus action that can be used multiple ways on your turn.
I'll have to get that then, because basically with Predatory Strike, I get to, if I attack unarmed, which I am, I get a bonus action attack.
So do you want to do the predatory one, or do you want to do the end of your combo?
Obviously, I'm going to do the one with more damage.
Right, combo. Damage in half, right.
And that's a 15, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Breaches. So what's great about these hits is, even with the one, you added that 1d6 to it today. So all these, when you come up at this thing, and you'll notice this thing wasn't heavily armored. This thing was just more of being able to fend off with all of its arms and shit like that. You are digging in and causing lethal damage with every one of these strikes of these rolls. So it is like Teen Wolf when he fights the bowler in the bowling alley, and he just goes off and the shirt just shreds, and Michael J. Fox is just fucking him up, man, just going crazy. It's like that scene in Teen Wolf. If you haven't seen it, do yourself the favor and watch it.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like, I imagine I'm like climbing up this thing as I'm attacking it, like just like non-stop. Like I want to be perched on this thing, and fuck if I had the ability to grapple. I think that's the only shit I can do. But I will roll all the die at once, make it simple. Oh yeah, 2, 4, 10, 20, 30.
Putting the claws to him.
40, 45 plus. Let me just make sure. So plus 45.
Remember, the first one was double damage, then your bonus attack one was damage plus half, and that's dice. Have you got it covered? You getting ready to give me a total?
Yep. 45.
This is going to be nice, sir.
So that would be 50 plus I get the ability, if I read this right, once per day or once per attack, I can add my charisma modifier to an attack, is what the way I read
once
it.
Per turn, yes.
Yeah, once per turn. So that would be 54 points of damage.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
And I don't know if there's any other way to do anything else. That's all I could think of.
Okay. I'm going to roll something. What does your bloodlust go up to now, sir?
That's what I got to do next.
Because this could be the first time we see you fully flip the fuck out.
That's what I was going to want. I mean,
I got a graphic for that too. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Good news is that bloodied him, and that massive amount of damage is actually enough to stun him. He's not like Stunning Strike. He's dazed, so he gets disadvantage on stuff until the end of his next turn.
7, 8, 9.
Right down dazed.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, take an attack action, did that. Bloody enemy, did that. Roll a nat 20. 17 plus fucking 8. You kidding me? 23.
I like it.
I didn't slay anyone, so 23. Oh fuck, yep.
Oh, you bloodied him though.
Yeah, I took the bloody one, so I'm at 34 points of bloodlust.
Does that puts you over the limit? Because I thought it was 30,
yes,
right?
It's 30. Yes.
Okay, so
yeah. So
describe to people what they see.
yeah, so basically, like I said, I imagine that, you know, like he's just in this like frenzy mode already, just letting the beast within just come out as he's just climbing up this thing, fucking God of War style, just digging in as much as possible, biting and clawing, and just trying as much as possible to tear the throat out of this thing, as like he's just like you hear like him just kind of like claws dug into this thing's chest, biting into him, and he just like, as the animal instinct kicks in, he pulls his head back and just is like, oh!
Of course he does. And then this is what everybody sees. This is your most fearsome form. And I'm going to move you just a little bit so people can get a chance to see what exactly this looks like. This is what he looks like when he's in the full-on form. And this is frightening people. Okay? He is full-on lichen, werewolf, backs busted out like... I mean, it's just fucking nuts, right? You are damn near looking in the eyes of this thing now, the way it makes you grow as you come out of this and have this moment. Okay?
So let me ask you a question then, because basically once I hit 30 or more, I have to succeed on it. I mean, I'm already on this thing, so I don't really need to roll that at this point.
No, you don't. You're good. You are honed in.
Okay. So I think that's it. I mean, I would love for the ability, even though I know I'm going to fail it because this thing is massive, to try to utilize that theatrically to try to not grapple him, but like, I want to be stuck on him. I want to be dug into this motherfucker.
So what do you have left to accomplish that with?
That's what I was at. That's what I'm not sure of.
Because, I mean, once you go into this form, I mean, it happened at the end of your turn. So you've already used Steadfast Assault, you've already used your attacks, and you did a Flourish with your Inspiration.
Right.
So you're pretty much in this form, for now, defensively until your next turn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which I think that's, I think that's that. I don't think there's anything else you can do.
All right.
Which, that's a lot. you tore into him pretty good. Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to get ready to go over here and hit this button the same time on both of these. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll discuss a couple things, and then we'll come back and see if we can conclude this. Is everybody good? Colby, you're off school tomorrow, so yay for you. Okay, let's go ahead and pause recording and pause recording. All right, and we're back from break. So we were discussing a couple things there, trying to move this forward the best way that we know how, because it's getting interesting. At the end of that last turn, Darius just owned faces. He just pretty much went to town on this this corrupted Ozoman. In the initiative turn, it is going to be Darius is number 4. Number 5 would have been Shacoma. Number 6 would have been the Ozoman Shaman. We're going to go with Shacoma's turn real quick, then we're going to go to the Shaman's turn right after that. Okay? So let me go ahead and get my music pumping here. All right. So, with that show, and with Darius full-blown howling and climbing the tree that is this large Ozoman over here, it is Shacoma's turn. The gravity pull that it did, this corrupt Ozoman, ripped that number 3, that soldier Ozoman, off that great spear she had stuck in it as it drug across the floor of this place, leaving a streak of blood. I believe it was still prone, and it also has Braxel on the other side of it. She's going to take advantage of that situation and try to flank this creature. It is on the ground right now, which makes it advantage on the attacks. I have an idea. I'm going to turn this down just a touch. Okay. All right, Shacoma, as you come across here, I'm going to have her perform one of Valdera's feats. I have Valdera. She is a Herald of Destruction, is a fighter subclass that she is that I created. And I'm trying to make her kind of this place's version of that. So what she's going to do is the Great Spear, still in hand, still dripping from the injury that it put on number 3 there a moment ago. She is going to... It's already done a sweep attack. So she is going to stomp down on the creature's chest. The what do you call it? The gauntlets are what's over your arms. What do you call the shin guards of armor? What is that called? Like the greaves, yes. With these greaves, it almost looks like the front man for Kiss. You know how they had like demonic faces on the top of their boots? The man looked like Gene Simmons was walking on like platform shoes of like demon feet. Her armor kind of has that similar look to it. And she comes up and she's going to stomp down on top. She's going to grab that spear and she's going to get it held up high above her head. First, let me do the attack for the stomp on the creature. Natural 12. Let's go ahead and do my 1 a day 1d6. 33. That's a breaching strike. So as she raises up and she lands down with that heavy boot, it is going to inflict 9 points of bludgeoning damage on number 3. And he was bloodied before. That's even more insult to injury. And as that happens, she's going to go ahead and grab up that spear, and I'm going to say something with her. I'm going to have a theatrical moment here. Because she's seen a lot of things go on, and this fight's been going back and forth. People are getting hurt. She has this thing, and I know she's only doing force damage. I want to do an intimidation check against it. And I want to try to see if she can get this creature to yield to her in this compromised position. I want her to try to assert her dominance here and let these creatures know that we are besting them on their own turf. And if they want this to go further, she's going to fuck them up. So I'm going to do that roll real quick. I would like to have one of you, let's go with Jeremy. I would like for you to do the counter roll of this for me. This is going to be a 1d20. If it's prone and she stomped on the chest of it and stuff, a 1d20 and a 1d4. And that's going to be your ability to not succumb to what I'm presenting as far as this fear that I'm going to try to put down on here. It's some intimidation. Okay? Let me know what your total is.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. $18. Not quite. So as she comes up with the spear, she's going to hold it. She's going to look deep into the eyes of the creature. And Darius, can you still interpret languages when you're in this form, or is this pretty much gone to you now? It's a curious question, right? Because it's not a concentration spell, is it, boss?
You talking about the form? Is it concentration? No.
Oh, no. Your ability to comprehend all the languages we were talking about earlier.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that was not concentration. Correct. No. So then, yes, I would still remember or understand.
Okay, that's the problem here. In this full-on form, would you still retain any of that understanding, or are you just full-on fucking? Blah!
So I would think that. So by default, that spell's not concentration. It does not say like you know how if you were a barbarian, you can go into barbarian rage and
yeah.
have concentration on concentration spells, right?
I think so.
So
I don't remember barbarians casting a lot of spells in rage, but
well, if you
I get what you're saying.
multi-class, same thing with a druid. A druid can cast a spell and go into animal form and still retain. Because I'm retaining my, but let me just double check something.
Okay. It's important,
because-
is why, or else I'd just move past it. But it's an important moment.
Yeah. So basically, I hit 30 XCC. So currently, as Blood Frenzy goes, it has nothing that says I lose my mentality except for the Blood Frenzy. So unless you're wanting to add that to where it's like, hey, if you're Blood Frenzying, then you lose all control, which is whatever, I'm cool with.
Okay.
I think it's a
I'm gonna
whole
say-
lot of he can hear it, he can understand it, but he just doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. So the rest of you hear her say something in this Ozoman language back to the creature. Some kind of shouts and some kind of grunts and threatening movements and stuff as she's saying something into it in its own language. Corey, what you hear her say is, I know what I want to put across this, got to make sure I say it right here. Yield now. She says, if you wish to fight the Vasilian with us, outside of the temple, it's best that you put down your arms now. Otherwise, you'll be healing back with the rest of your tribe. And you're of no use to me if you're dead. Yield. And that's what she's saying as she has the spear up. Because of the rolls back and forth, I don't think it would say anything back out of the way, but it would try to just, instead of it would kind of swell up and you would see the creases forming the large creature's face, its chest breathing up and down heavily, moving her leg as it's standing on top. And as it thinks about it for a minute, it turns its head sideways, it lashes out in a rage and tries to smack her foot off to the side with a counter strike. But it's a natural 3 on the roll. Terrible roll. She's going to spin and take the blunt end of the great spear and try to knock it in the head and knock a son of a bitch unconscious. It's prone on the ground. Natural 18. That hits. Let me go ahead and roll damage and see how this goes. Oh, if that's a natural 18, I'm going to do my 1d4 and see if I can make this a critical hit. And I rolled a 4. So, that's a 20. And with that, just to do the damage for the hell of it here, I just rolled double 6s. On my
Roll
2d6.
one more 6 and we quit.
Right. It is not that kind of game, contrary to popular belief. 24. Okay. 31 points of damage from that strike on that thing's head. I'm going to say, Jeremy, roll me a Constitution saving throw. 1d20 and a 1d6. Tell me what you get. What'd you get?
There's a nat 1 and then a 1 on D6.
Thank you. First off, that helps me. With that, you see a tusk go flying out of this thing's mouth, like in a 3D movie in a fight. And it just... she comes around the side of that great step. 4! And just smacks the shit out of the side of that thing, knocking it stunned. Knocking it unconscious. It does not drop down to 0 hit points, but she has stunned the creature into submission. After she does that, she's going to look up and she's going to glare at the shaman. That'll be the end of her turn. It will be the shaman's turn now. What were you saying, Corey?
I was going to say, I mean, does she yell in common to everyone else that she's telling them to back down? Because otherwise they don't know what the hell she said. So the party's still going to fight.
We're getting ready to see.
Okay.
Everybody except Brahmas, mainly.
Right?
Everybody Brahmas is gonna know.
Everyone's like, we're good, it's peace. Go! It's just shit starts, arrows start flying into stuff, and Kilt's like, sorry! I didn't know! That's fantastic. All right, so
I
let's go-
didn't hear.
Yeah, right. And Corey's thinking that fucking bow, man. Just knock it off with that bow. I'm gonna overdraw and shoot 3 times. Crazy shit. So the shaman, on his turn, he is going to come out of the realm, back there out of the shadows, come back into full view. He is going to cast something. The first thing he casts makes it look like a mass of vines covers the entire area and starts wrapping up and holding at bay his people selectively. His own Ozaman. Okay? Now, I know. Now
I
is
hope I
this...
don't fail this concentration check.
But we're not done, because there's more.
Yeah, there's
Now.
more.
As one other thing he can do here, he casts a healing aura spell on someone that he saw get severely hurt in this test, which would be Darius.
I mean, he also see me and just killing one of them.
What's that, buddy?
I said he also watched me kill one of them.
Knock it down, yeah. And it was laying right here. So it's in the area of this. So as he casts that, and Darius, you see the light radiant energy runes form below your feet. You see these vines climb up the Ozaman over here, climbs up this Ozaman, climbs up the stone form on this one, and holds them at bay. And you hear him slam down his staff. Remember I mentioned he had that staff made out of the long foreleg of what was a Vokilikon? He has a large staff made out of the leg bone of one of those. He slams it down, and he gives it a loud and draws the attention of the others. When he does that, they seem to succumb to it and start to pay attention to him, and you can see their shoulders lower and de-escalate. Okay? In that moment, is there anything particularly anyone was wanting to do as they're seeing this?
So I need to clarify. I'm assuming that you're saying because a healing spell was cast on me that I can then roll the 1d4 just like because it says a healing spell. I don't know if that means
Yes.
I cast. Okay.
Yes.
What level was it cast at?
4.
Okay. Yeah, so that would literally put me right under.
And the healing from that is 16. Brahmas, you're in the area of that as well. That would be 16 points of healing to you as well. There's an area of effect here, as you would see that one Ozaman that was knocked unconscious earlier. You would see it rise back up again and start to yank on that arrow that was embedded down inside of it and starts to painfully try to pull it out.
I'd like to get off the statue.
I'm going to bring it back. Okay.
What's one level of exhaustion in your world? Same as 5th edition?
It's just you have disadvantage. I think it's just
Skills.
disadvantage on just a couple things. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah. So it's the standard 5th edition. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, since Darius is right under 30, that means Darius can control himself, and like you would see him come 100% out of lichen form, so not hybrid. Like he'd slowly start to shift. Like he would like let himself kind of like, he's not sliding down this thing. He's just kind of like pushing off, trying to do a Superman land.
Okay, are you sticking in hybrid form, or are you going back to your normal self?
Full normal, like just normal.
Okay.
And so like I imagine like as he kind of kicks off the creature to land on the ground, he's beginning to shift and change, and he just kind of like lands on one knee and in his hands, like I said, in the kind of Superman-esque landing pose.
Okay.
And he is exhausted. I did fail that save for the steadfast. I failed.
Okay. Which will aid to the rest that we're possibly going to get later. Possibly.
And I just imagine.
Oh, God.
Right. And Colby, you're in the background climbing down off of the stone as this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You keeping the bow drawn, you're putting it away? Or... Do what?
I say climb, not jump.
Okay. We can do that. All right. Brahmas. In that moment, when you see the vines come up from between all the cracks on these large sandstone-like tiles and reach up and try to hold down this creature to a degree and calm it, you would see the stone body fade from the creature in front of you. Make sure I know which one that was. It was you, okay. So let's go ahead and fade that down. As he's able to pacify that particular soldier. As it turns to look at you. With a deep breath and sigh, and just kind of looks down at your feet and kind of takes kind of like a bow. And rests its heavy arms down at its side. And steps back away from you. First 5, then 10 foot. What are you doing in this moment, Brahmas? And what are you saying to Silouan as this is happening?
Just before it moves away, he's going to mirror the bow. And then he's going to look to Silouan. It's not very easy work, is it?
I didn't think it was easy, and you somehow proved me 100 times over even more wrong. How? I think she may sort of stop herself of like, I don't think I could ever know how, but good job.
Silouan's like somebody that went into one of those fair rides but forgot to buckle the seatbelt. You know what I mean? This thing she got the hell beat out of her inside of here. It's terrible. With that, Darius, was there more you wanted to say after you land as you look over and you see Braxel beginning to shift back into his normal form?
Yeah. Well, first I have a question.
Absolutely.
How does magic points regain? Do you regain on a rest? Do you?
Yep. Half on a short rest and full on a long.
Okay, cool. Because I imagine like Darius, like when he hits the ground, like he feels pretty hurt even after this whole little whatever this aura was. Mm-hmm. And he kind of like looks over his shoulder, sees Brahmas who's over there fighting, looks at Braxel and Shacoma, and I imagine like he would stand up and he would take out a small strip of like white cloth in his hand, wrap it around his hand, and begin to incant and I'm gonna cast Aid at 5th level.
Oh wow, fuck yeah, you are.
Which
Bards,
is gonna
man.
give, let me see how many. Choose up to 3 creatures. So I would give it to, well, the three I see near me: Shacoma, Braxel, and Brahmis. 20. It raises their maximum HP for the next 8 hours plus 20.
Fuck yeah,
it's
guys,
5.
write that down and keep note of that.
It's because, like, as I stand up, I just look back at Brahmis. I'm assuming this means the test is over, but the longer we wait, the more we chance them releasing the Taraski. So while I understand people might want to rest, I'm ready to go as soon as everyone else is. And he'll start like turning around, walking towards the exit, like wherever he came in at. He's trying to get out of this.
Okay. As you turn around,
He can't hear. If Silwyn talks, Darius couldn't hear her, could he?
not necessarily, no.
Okay.
You could
'cause-
see this going on through the windows and
Mhm.
stuff if Jeremy thinks that would be applicable. I'll let him kind of control what goes on in there.
It's like, because her response to that would be like, "Ready to go? Absolutely not!" And she like sort of sinks to the ground, like,
In that moment, as you are walking away, Darius, you hear in common. You're not having to discern the language of this Ozaman any longer. You hear in broken common the voice of this large shaman. And it says, you are worthy. I will come with you. We will meet tomorrow with my people. Together, we will take back the Crescent Cradle. As he says this, he walks behind you, and you see Rursi holding out her hand. She's somewhat transparent, but she sees you coming that direction, Darius, and she's holding her hand out to you. Would you take her hand to be pulled from this side of things back into the side where the hunting lodge was? Are you ready to go now, or was there something else you wanted to do first?
No, like I imagine, like as he, she puts his hand out. He knows, like, okay, that's how I got in here. This is how I get out. And
Yes.
he'll just look over his shoulder towards, the and oh God, I'm trying to think how to say, because he's not a dick. Oh, so he would say.
So
he
you
would
say.
He would say, "Well, I'm glad the outcome was what we had hoped for. I fear the time we spent might have been at yet a negative outcome." Maybe.
Mercy looks at you in the middle of your words, even if you're in the middle of saying your sentence still.
Mm-hmm.
And as she looks at you, her hand goes from your hand up to your forearm and up to your arm.
Mm.
And she looks at you deeply, and very beautiful woman as we've described before. And that bird is on her shoulder, just kind of gently chirping, that large prehistoric like toucan with large red and blue feathers. And she looks at you and she goes, "You have helped us mend a bridge that has been broken for ages. The Ozaman will make a valuable ally. You can't put a time limit on something like that. We move forward, and now we do it together. Thank you."
He like gives like a real deep long sigh.
There have been
I
many
wish-
of us that have passed. When we take this attack back to them, we have to make certain it will work. You understand?
I imagine this is like going on as she's like pulling him and back
Yeah.
over to the other side.
Yeah.
And as she says that, he kind of like releases her hand, and like he doesn't put his head down like solemnly, just kind of looks down. I wish we all had less of a timetable to worry about. I will do my part, and he'll just continue.
You hear a stomp in the mud, and as you're walking that direction, you feel a gruff punch in the shoulder from your left, and as you do, it's Valdera. And she's looking at you with a very sharp smirk on her face and a big grin with an arched eyebrow. And she says to you, well, that was fucking something. You can do that again, right?
We all have beasts inside of us, one way or another.
Yeah, but I know I don't look like one when I get angry. Don't get me wrong. She goes, I'm jealous. She leans in, she goes, that was fucking awesome. That's what Valdera says to you. And she looks at you and she says it again. She looks in your eyes. She goes, no. None of this sob shit. That was fucking awesome.
So I don't know how like insightful she is, but he just kind of looks at her deep and not with rage, but with kind of like this like a passion. I wish I never had to use that in my life.
So don't they.
One day it'll be gone, and I'll be happy once again. Like if she's insightful enough, she can tell like he does not like
I know.
that.
But she's, and I get that. And she's going to leave it there. She's going to say, fair enough. She turns around at Bastille and she punches him in the shoulder too. And as she's walking away, you can hear her say under her breath, I don't care what he says. That was fucking awesome. That's what she's saying as she walks away. And Bastille's just kind of looking at you, twirling that dagger between his fingers. And he's looking at you, hood's pulled down, a blank expression. He gives you a slow nod of acceptance. And he turns and follows Valdera back to the hunting lodge. In that moment, Rursi walks through and she greets the Ozomen, their leader, their shaman, this spiritual person that was on their side of things. And the two converse as she reaches out and takes the hand of him. As soon as their hands touch on our side of things, you can see that the scion snaps out of it automatically. Okay? I think at this moment, unless anyone has any theatrics or anything else they'd like to say, I'll ask that first. Is there any other conversations you want to have with the creatures on the other side before everybody heads back through taking Rursi's hand? There's this one large feral looking Ozoman with these large horns that seems to be a little bit upset that the fight is over and still breathing heavily. Doesn't look like anything you'd want to talk to. And the other ones look like they are humbled soldiers that are standing about the outskirts, almost like people that are looking at everyone leaving on a ship, going off to sail. That's how they appear looking at us as we walk back into our own section of Tenosia. Okay? Is there anything in particular people are wanting to do here? I want to give you your chance. Colby, you're good to just go back through?
If anything, I might raise my fist up with my bow as to honor and celebrate and salute the fight.
Nice. When you do that, because of that, you would see some of the Ozomen would do a similar action back towards you. And in that, Shacoma comes up and she puts her arm around you like a big sister. And she says, every bit of the warrior that I am and the woman that I've become, you put the belief back in me, Kiltusk. And 4 of us is better than a countless amount of bazillion. I forgot that. But we'll make them remember together. I won't let you down again. For our people. And she takes her spear and she shakes it and holds it up. She says again, for our people. What are you saying in response to this?
I'll reply back saying for our people.
Okay. Nice. With that, Brahmas, are you going back through? You and Silouan? Okay. On that note, when we go back through, we will have the company of this shaman with us as we're going back through on our side. He will be a guide for us. As we have the conversation overnight, we'll get deeper into the plans. We'll go ahead and call it for tonight at that moment. And then when we pick up again next Sunday, we'll get into the aftermath and conversation of how all this plays out. Yes, Bella, what's up?
Just like I think she had sort of sunk down on the ground a little bit, and Darius was like, "Yeah, no, we could keep going." So she kind of like pulls herself up a bit, I think, and she may go like, "All right, Merc, great job. We've been to hell and back.
Oh shit!
I'm going to bed." And then I think she kind of walks out to her tower.
That's awesome. Okay. Anything, Merc?
It's just an exasperated sigh. 'Cause I'm so ready to rest.
Both of you are. This is great. This is great role play. You're really getting into character tonight, Jeremy. You're doing a hell of a job, sir. That's fantastic. And with that, we'll go ahead and end tonight's episode, and we'll pick up next time. Hopefully, all of us will be feeling a little bit better. As an epic fight, guys. And there was more shit to be had, but I think everyone did real well. Proved themselves. Kiltusk, you were nailing your shots. You were pulling tricks out of the bag. It was great. The 2 people working inside Brahmas at the same time dynamic, I wish you 2 should talk about that and see if there's something you can bring to the table, and then just present it to me and see if you can sell it to me. Because that is a neat idea. And I would never considered that until tonight, when it was like, oh shit, yeah. There could be several levers. We don't know. So that was a neat thing to explore. Man, that first turn for Darius, fuck, man. Dude, him grabbing you, and as I was driving the other day, I was thinking about the way these things attack. The way they would work, these 4 arms, their strength, their might. And him grabbing onto you and grappling you and just coming down with that damn hammer strike. And rolling what he rolled, I was like, fuck's sake, dude, you can just be all kinds of badass. But at the end of the day, that's going to get you. And it knocked you cold, and I was like, shit, dude. But if that puts into perspective, there's a lot of things our characters can do, especially with this homebrew version of things. But there's also a lot of things other people can do too. None of us are above getting the shit beat out of us every once in a while a little bit. But the way you came back, and the way that when that button's pushed with Darius, and what they're actually getting themselves into and they don't realize it, yeah, he'll think twice before he pounds on someone like that again. He's going to be like, fucking bards, man. This Ozaman thinks they're all like that. So, that was a can of whip ass. It was nice to see opened up. That was really cool. If anyone else doesn't have anything, I'll go ahead and give the closing spiel. Are we all good? All right. With that,
Yeah.
as I sit here and try to hit 2 different stoppings at the same time, that's how we do it. I'm Brian Kynes with the group here, and we thank you guys for joining us again. And I can't wait till next Sunday to see how we want to put all this together. Until next time, thanks everybody.